All right. We is live. Welcome to Mudflood Flash Mob, episode 1. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Mud's just gone out for patrol, and I've been fighting my camera. It decided to go all weird, and sometimes it doesn't want to focus. And then, anyways, I walked away and came back, and it focused. I don't know. The thing got a mind of its own. Oh my goodness! You need to get daggone out my face, big old. This ain't your show. This my show. Go get your own show. Whew. Okay. I see Morning Glory was hanging around, and I see Miss Hippies there. I see Ha Ha's. What's up, Ha Ha? How you doing? Okay. All right. Well, this is a new show, a new format, something I think we're going to try and see if we can make a go of this thing. And the idea is to give the community an opportunity to have a voice. It's not, if you want to conversate with me, that's fine. If you want to just speak your mind and get your, truth told, if you want to, have somewhere to say what you're thinking about and your ideas, this is kind of a place to do that, and a place to have a little conversation about that. Um, this is there's a lot of places where the creators, the researchers, that they talk on YouTube, but they, there's not a lot of places for the community to come in and talk. Hey, that's not a toy. That is annoying, and you're going to get shot in the ass if you don't quit. Yes, that's what I thought. Sorry, folks, somebody's being annoying. So this is an opportunity for you guys to, have somewhere to go and um, have be part of the conversation. Okay. It's also to help spark my imagination and my research, and I want to learn from you, and I want to know what you're thinking, and I just think it's an interesting opportunity. So that being said, if this goes well, then fine. If it doesn't go well, fine too. This is up to you guys, how you handle it, as to if we're going to continue this. So let me go ahead. Welcome Odin's Raven, and welcome Kathy Broughton, and what's going on, Sigsar? Let's go over some ground rules when we get back. Let me do the pleasantries. We'll be right back.
You think you know me? You think you know my struggles, my pain, my journey? Let me tell you something. Don't judge me by what you see or hear. I didn't walk this path to impress anyone. People love to point fingers, to act like they know everything. They don't know my story. You don't know what I had to sacrifice, because everything I've become was built from battles you never saw.
I've been muted. Okay, sorry, folks. StreamYard is acting like an idiot. All right, hold on. StreamYard is acting stupid. Okay, let me try this again. Sorry, folks. This is a tricky thing. Um, Miss Hippie, up in the top of the comments, you'll see where I posted a post with the show rules. If you want to post that from time to time. Okay, we're cooking with gas now. I see. Okay, these are the show rules for the Mudflood Flash Mob. There will be no YouTube channel creators allowed. This show is only for uh, the community, the viewers, the regular Joe. Now, if you make videos, about your cats or your whatever that doesn't have anything to do with our research, if you don't have, I don't want creators that are in our community because I believe that they deserve a different level of live stream. Number one, number two, I'm no longer doing collaborations with creators due to too many problems. I have found that a lot of the creators are wonderful people, but then again, there's some bad apples out there, and I'm just not interested in that drama anymore. Um, I want to move forward, and if people don't want to respect each other, then I don't want to respect them. So if you have been a problem for me in the past, you will not be allowed to participate. So don't bring your fucking drama here. Don't want it. Don't need it. You will be blocked from the show, and you will be blocked from the channel. I just am not interested in your fucking drama. This is not a show about drama. This is not to have drama. This is a show to have open communication, open dialogue, a place that we can come and have a decent conversation. We can disagree. I don't think any of us agree on anything, on everything. So a disagreement, to disagree is fine, but to, come up here and drop drama, not going to happen. We're not. I'm just not going to put up with it. I'm not interested in that. That is not what this show is about. Um, when you come on to when you join the live stream, you do not have to go live uh, with your camera on you, but you do have to. You can have your icon on, but in order to get on the show, you have to cam up. I want to see your the whites of your eyes. I want to see your face. I want to know that you're a real person. Okay, and that's just the way it's going to be. I know a lot of you don't have cameras, but that's just the way it's going to be. And let's see, there will be no screen shares of images, audio, or video by the guest. I'm not interested in you bringing your information here. That's not what this show is about. If you want to show your images, your data, your video, do that on your own channel. One guest at a time, and no one will be allowed a panel squat. I'm interested in having a one-on-one conversation. I believe when you have too many people in a conversation, people talk over each other. It gets confusing. It's hard to tell who's talking, who's doing what, especially if they're using icons. When you're using, I prefer that you stay cam up because I like to be able to have a conversation with a person rather than an icon. But I understand some people don't like to be on camera. I do understand that. Let's see. All topics will be allowed. We can talk about anything from spirituality to flat Earth to Mudflood to Tartaria to old world research to architecture to quantum physics to whatever you want to talk about. I'm open to all kinds of discussions. As long as we're going by YouTube's rules. I think I missed a rule here. You must abide by YouTube's rules and regulations. So if YouTube doesn't allow it, if it pisses YouTube off, if it's something that we shouldn't be discussing or talking about that YouTube will not like, please don't bring that shit here. We don't need it. It's just going to get the video taken down, and that's that's what's the point of that? That's no good. So let's keep it use your code words. You're not stupid. You know what your damn code words are. Let's see. You may use cuss words. You can cuss. I have no problem with people cussing. Okay. Let's see. If you join the stream just to troll, you will be booted. Disagreement is fine. Trolling is for losers. If a lot of people out there just like the troll, you're a fucking loser. Go to fuck yourself. Okay. Because it's just, I don't give a fuck about you. Okay. You're not interesting. You're boring. Okay. So trolling is just absolutely for fucking losers. I don't want losers here. Okay. I'm just not interested in that. It doesn't, I know that you younger generations think that's cool, but you're fucking losers. Okay. Stop that shit. Grow the fuck up. If you're booted from the stream, you will be banned from joining the show in the future. So if you get kicked off the stream or are not allowed onto the stream, you're going to get banned. Okay. If I feel for any reason that you need to be thrown off the show, then I'm going to ban you. It's not banned for the day, it's banned for life. Okay. If you become a problem, you will be blocked from my YouTube channel. Okay. This platform is being created to bring the community together. If you disrespect this platform, it will be canceled. Okay. I do not have a reason to keep doing this if if it's not producing a good effect, if it's not good conversations and people aren't being respectful and it turns into a shit show, I'll just cancel the show. I don't have to do this. Okay. I just think it's a good idea for us to try to come together as a community. Now, I tried to do this with the creators and it turned into a shit show because you get a bunch of dumb fucks in there and they get all these egos going, and next thing you know, everybody's stabbing each other in the back. And we're not going to do that here. Okay, if we do that here, I'm going to do like I did with them. I'm going to cancel your ass. Okay, so that's just that. And I'm not trying to be a hard ass. It's just I've been around the block. Okay, I've been around the fucking block. Okay. Oh, and then there's the golden rule. This rule is not listed on the set of rules, and this rule you should already know. This is my show, and I do whatever the fuck I want to do. Okay, so if I want to break a rule, it's my show, and I'll break a rule if I want to break a rule. Okay, my show, my rules. Okay, hey Streets, how you doing? I'm gonna go ahead and add the link to the show, and if anybody would like to hop on and have a conversation, there are rules. I probably better show this. Wait a minute. Let me show this before we do that. One thing. I don't know if I can. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, this should do it. Sorry, folks. This is I'm doing something new here, so I'm having to kind of play around with it. I think this should do it. Okay, so these are the StreamYard guest instructions. I don't know how you find these, but you might want to review these. They're a little long here, so I'm not going to read these through, but I'm going to put these here so you can see what those rules are. It gives you advice on how to do it. And I think you can just go to StreamYard in the Help Center and search guest instructions, and it should give you those instructions in order to understand, because I know a lot of you are new to this and don't know how to do that. So I know that this is going to be a little bit rocky trying to figure all this out. There's some things that I don't really know how to do, and I'm gonna have to learn. So just bear with me. I know this is going to be, kind of wonky, and that's okay. The birth pangs. We're gonna try something new here. So I'm gonna put the link in the description here, and let's see what we can do here. It should pop up. That is the link, and you should be able to join by clicking that link. Is my understanding. This is the first time that I've done this way, so I don't know. Now I don't know if any of you are interested in coming on, and if you are, great. If you're not, you know, we'll just see where it goes. If it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere. All I can do is offer to do this, and if it goes somewhere, if it does something, then that's great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Um, Anyways, that being said, the link is in the description. Um, and I'll probably need to add that a few times when during the show, I would say. Anyways, so it was interesting. Just a kind of a little something to talk about here. I went. I've been uh, in the mornings as I'm getting ready to go to work and having my coffee. There's this show. The day I think it's called the Daily Atheist, and it's so funny to like some like listening to these people like about it's really entertaining because for me, I'm a pantheist. Okay, I believe all is God. Okay, it's real simple. Okay, there's no nothing complicated about my beliefs. It's real simple. And so I'm looking at this atheist, and I'm trying to understand how a person can not have any belief in a creator or God. Like they just like it's like they feel like the universe was just created like a fart in the wind out of nowhere. It was like a fart that came out of the void. That there's no it, it just magically appeared like Lucky Charms. I mean, it's like and that idea to me is hard to even grasp, that you could believe that the universe was created out of nothing, or that the universe created itself. Like I literally heard them say that today. Maybe the universe created itself, and I'm thinking, wait, if there's nothing and the universe created itself, so nothing created the universe. Like that doesn't even make sense. Like you've got a zero, and the zero is going to create a one. Okay, well, where's that math? Doesn't math? That what are you talking about? That doesn't even uh that doesn't line up. Like it's just it's very interesting to me. So, anyways, I started asking them, interesting questions like, can you give me your thoughts, on quantum physics and how it relates to uh, creation, and all kinds of questions like this, and like I'm just like stumping the shit out of them. And there's this one girl in there that's like this just a straight up NPC, and it's so funny because her best response is, "Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cute. That's real cute." And it's like, my God, you have no consciousness. Like you're like literally an NPC. You can't even. Your best response is, "Oh, that's cute." Like, are you kidding me? You can't come up with any better response. Then she'll like on the quantum physics question, she's like, "Oh, that's above my pay grade." And then they're talking about how nobody can understand quantum physics. I understand quantum physics. If I can understand quantum physics, I'm pretty sure anybody else can. And you don't have to understand like the deep science. You don't got to go Stephen Hawking here, you know. It's just really funny that you've got to like it's like they feel like you got to have a PhD in order to understand the concepts of quantum physics, and it's interesting. And they're saying something about how God would not talk in the language of quantum physics because it's too complicated. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you expect God to talk in? English, Swahili, German, Japanese? What language are you talking about? Mathematics? What language are you talking about that's there? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand it. Makes no sense. But it's fun to me to go at these people and talk to them. Then I asked them a question about the Temple Mount. I can't. I wish I should have got the questions out that I gave them, but I asked them about the Temple Mount not being the Temple Mount. I've talked about that on the show before, and their response was, "No, we've never heard of this," you know. And then it was, well, I don't see how that pertains to what we're talking about. And then it was, well, I'm not interested in that. And then it's like, well, I might be interested in that from a historical narrative, but I don't see what that has to do with the discussion here. Like, it's the three majors of the three major religions of the world are fighting to the death over this piece of land, and they're literally trying to start World War III over it, and you don't think it matters or pertains to, spirituality and religion and these discussions. It absolutely, matters. It completely matters. And then of course you got the atheists coming in and in the chats and trying to badger me, and it's hilarious because it's just like, okay, whatever, dude. Like you're like, I'm like just brushing it off, like, okay, dude, whatever. Good for you. They're like, we've defeated you before, and I'm like, you haven't even talked to me. You ain't got here yet. What are you talking about? Like, how are you how have you defeated everyone like me? You've never seen me before. No. But see, all I'm doing is I'm seeding these guys. Um, it's I want to get them thinking before I actually go into them, because they have a call-in show. So at some point I'll drop into them, but I want to get the um, some ideas rolling in their heads. It's like, I ask them about the pantheism, what they know about that, and and then we had he was talking about what he started talking about this pantheism and how it's, all is the universe is all, and he didn't understand it, but then he kind of started well, yeah, I might could get behind that. Like it was like you could see the gears switching in his head, so it was really funny. I like that, but I like trying to get a different conversation going there. I've been working out, trying to kind of doing odd things at work this week because it's the snow's still on the ground, so you can't really do a whole lot of normal stuff because it's the ground is just really wet, and I'm just trying to you know get ready to keep doing what I'm working on. And I was clearing out a lot of snow today, trying to get um, the area I'm working on to where I can get to it, and then to where I can work on it, and so it can dry out. So that was fun today. And then I worked a little bit on getting my washing machine ready, and I cut some wood for the wood stove. I came up with this way. I had a bunch of wood that was cut 24 inches, and my wood stove is the max it'll take is 14, but that's hard to get in there. the way it has to go in there. So I try to, cut it short. I usually try to cut it no more than 12 inches. So anyways, I had this 24-inch piece. I broke out the DeWalt miter saw and just started cutting them in half today, and like cutting up little blocks. It worked out perfect. That was a lot easier than using the chainsaw. So went out to dinner last night with the boss at the Mexican restaurant. That was good. Had me a chimichanga, chicken chimichanga. Anyways, how you doing, Sig Sor? Yeah, Sig, you should come on. I'll tell you what, guys. I'll keep up here for a little while, but we're not going to do this all night. I'm going. If somebody wants to, get on here, then we'll do this. If not, then we'll just not do this. I've got other things I can do. This is your opportunity, and I'm all I can do is offer. But it's we're gonna put a fuse on that offer. Um, I don't want to do this all day. Um, I don't mind sitting here and for a little while, but if you want to join, join. If you don't want to join, then we'll just we'll call it quits. So let's see. We'll put a countdown timer. It's 9:26. We'll go to 9:45, and then we'll cut it. We'll call it quits, and we won't do this again. So cam up or don't, and that'll be that. Let me let me share. Let me share something here. Let's see. Oh, I gotta not share screen. There we go. Okay. Hit the wrong button there. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. These I wish I could do a show where it was anybody could come on, but you know, after you've dealt with the bullshit that I've dealt with, you won't give a fuck either. It ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it. I've dealt with too many shitheads over the years. And let's see, this is a cool. Oh no, I want to do this one. This one sounds cool. Let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna. There we go. These are pictures from San Francisco after the fire. Pretty cool stuff. I like it. I'm wondering, really what happened in San Francisco. Um, I'm not even convinced that, I look at the old buildings that are still left. You look at the buildings that supposedly burned down. You look at the buildings that are still left, and it leaves questions in my mind what really happened. Because you look at the old films and the pictures, and there's so much devastation, yet I still see tons and tons um, of buildings that are there. I don't know. Something's just very strange about this time period. One thing I learned in about San Francisco is that they had there was a train depot that came in right up near beside Market Street um, to the I want to say to I want to say north, but I'm not sure how it's laid out. Came the side opposite of the ocean was to the if you look at it on a map, the ocean was to the left. I believe the railroad came in to the right. I guess laid out that would be the east. Anyways, there was an old trade station that came right up into that area that's no longer there. Um, but it always made me wonder if that had anything to do with the um, the theory I have with the trains and the cloud busters coming in, bringing cloud busters in, and using the trains as the transport system for those cloud busters, and maybe they ran up in there and then they covered it over later. Um, San Francisco's that place. I think what it was that it was so massive and so amazing that they could not even explain it. And what we see in the pictures is very limiting, um, compared to what was actually there, because a lot of it's not pictured, and you can't get the perspective of how many buildings were there. Um, it's just, I mean, the details. Look at, I mean, just crazy stuff. Look at that lamp post. Look, oh, it's got the little boat going through the lamp right there. Really cool stuff. Um, I was, these AI channels that are coming out. It's interesting that there's so many coming out at one time, and they're so similar. Like, we don't know anything about the people that are making these videos. They're not. There's somebody behind them. There's somebody that's pushing the videos, and they're what I think they're doing is giving the AI an idea for a video, and then the AI is creating the video, and then they're posting it on a channel. But the videos are so similar, that it makes me wonder if it's very few, if not one person, putting out all the videos, because if you understand how these AI videos are made, they're very simple to make. AI is getting very powerful, and it does not take much work to make videos like that. Um, and then, of course, half the information in there is legit; the other half is pure bullshit. Um, so, uh, no, hold on. I don't know what. Hold on, let's see. Here we go. Um, that's the link. Here, hold on. That's the link to the StreamYard. Um, that's the StreamYard link. But I'm wondering who is behind these videos, and what is their goal, because they're obviously putting out false information. They're using truth, a mixture of truth, speculation, and pure fantasy to make these videos, and I'm wondering, who's behind it, because we don't have anybody like saying, any kind of like, this is me, this is about me, this, like, you don't have an origin of where they're from. You don't have like what their beliefs are based on, where they got their information for. There's no provenance of their origin story of where they're getting their information, or how they're thinking, or I don't know. It's just really strange stuff that they're like, these people are um these videos are really getting popular, y'all. They're like blowing up on YouTube, and on the different platforms. Um, and I'm even seeing a lot more, like, people that are grabbing onto uh, uh, hold on a second, TikTok videos, and Meltology. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. Hold on, Sig. Give me a second. I've got to figure out how to do this. Let me, like I said,
What's up,
I'm
BEAGS?
Hey, there you go. Okay, sorry, I'm not really good at this. I'm learning myself. How you doing? There we go. This is Six Star, y'all. I'm sure y'all have seen him in the chat 1,000 times. It's nice to finally meet you. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Biggs? I don't hear you.
You don't hear me? Um, okay.
Hold on.
You got to. Okay, you're gonna have
I don't
to.
hear you.
Okay, you're
Wait,
gonna have to put in earbuds, or
my
headphones.
mic is on. Everything's good.
It's your ears. It's your audio. Let's see.
Says I'm in the show. It's on you. It's you, not me.
Can you let me play
I'll
this?
try back Chrome.
Um, what are you listening to? Um,
Hold on. My mic is on.
Let's see. I don't know how to communicate to him. Hippie, can you somehow try to explain to him that he has to have some way of he's got his screen muted, um, so he can't hear me. Um, it does work better in Chrome. I will say that I can hear you. Um, I can hear you fine. This is always complicated. I can hear you. bear with us, folks. We're both learning here. Um, see, my mic is not muted. So I can let's see. I can mute. Now I'm unmuted. So we can hear. You can hear both of you. Okay. Yeah. I can hear Sig. Okay. Hold on. Okay. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure, Sig. Oh wait, what is this? Can you? Okay, you're on two separate screens now. Bear with us, folks. We're trying to make this work here. Um, this is going to be a train wreck, and that's okay. I can deal with a train wreck. I don't know if you can hear me or not. So, um, okay, he dropped again. He, I think Hippie that um, he had his screen muted. He needs to be wearing earbuds, unless yeah, I think he was on his cell phone. If he is, he needs to be. Here, he's trying again.
Hey, now I hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know. This is common problem. Um,
Okay.
this is very normal. So this is something that everybody has to learn how to do. It's different for everybody's setup. So I can't tell you how to do your setup.
I called in a couple of creators in the past, and Chrome had no problem. Google just gave me a problem.
Yeah.
And whatever. Let's go forward. What's up, Biggs?
How you doing? It's nice to meet you finally.
Nice to meet you, brother.
It tells you on StreamYard that it prefers Chrome, And so I use Chrome when I'm using StreamYard always.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it helps, but so how are you? And I believe you're in Florida. Is that correct?
That's right. South Florida, Boca
South
Raton.
Florida, Boca Raton. Okay, I know where that
The
is.
the lit the weather here hasn't been in the 20s in 5-6 years.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
the hippie shake. I feel bad for the lizards. Are everybody thinks they're hibernating and just falling out of the trees in hibernation? No, them suckers are gone, dead.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah. I
Oh,
I don't mean to sound ugly, negative, but they're gone.
y'all were having a big problem with those down there, weren't you? With the
Yeah, they're invasive. They're all over the place. They swore they would never build out into the Everglades, and they are. They're going straight out there, building into the swamps, $1 million houses. Florida's on fire, and these animals just have nowhere else to go.
in the 80s, the drug dealers would buy these exotic animals and then they couldn't take care of
Yes.
them. They got too big and they let them
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just running rampant like the pythons everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Horrible.
It's like an aquarium. You go out there and you see everything, anything and everything. But Florida on fire. They're building actually in Miami a new building called the Waldorf Astoria, the tallest residential building in the United States, 4 floors smaller than the Empire State Building. It's going to sink. All the buildings are sinking 6 inches a year, and they're putting up an Empire State Building in Miami. Oh,
How is that even possible?
yeah,
And
it's
with
nuts. And
what are the underground waterways that are under there? Like they don't even know what's down there. That's crazy.
no, Old World Florida Channel. He shows a lot of stuff. What is it called? Like the indigenous natives, the Indians, sacred grounds. They're just building right on top of that, on top of these new findings that they're finding, like extremely large turtles, bigger than the turtles. There was something else. Ah, man, dolphins. The weirdest stuff. They're just
Large
building
dolphins.
on top of it. It's horrible what they're doing with all the sacred land from the indigenous, the natives,
Wow.
Seminoles.
That is the. I was going to ask, is that the Seminoles?
Yes, a lot by me. South Florida Seminoles. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. There's a lot of what do you call it going on in Florida? A lot of history. St. Augustine, a lot of people don't know, is the first state in the United States. Not is it St. Augustine?
City?
I
First
say
city?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the first, and it was the richest. Key West was the richest. A lot of people don't know. That's from all the pirates, the pirate ships going around there,
Oh wow.
banking over there, and then the Cuban, the white stuff started coming in right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's 3 banks. There's 3 banks on every block, and then there's
Nothing was in Miami back in the 80s, and then the drug dealers came in and took over, and that's
yeah,
what built Miami.
yep, 100. There's 3 banks on every block, and there's 3 sober house living hot places on every block.
Wow.
I
It's a
grew up in
crazy place.
like I said in chat, and I told you before, I grew up in New York. I was a FedEx driver in Manhattan for like 20 something years.
Oh wow, really?
Retired. Yeah, I walked on pavement glass, and that's another thing we got a little miscommunicated. I wanted to tell all the new people coming in that not that you coined auto viaducts and pavement glass, but you brought it to everybody's attention.
I okay. I didn't coin it. I didn't make it up. It wasn't my original. I didn't create pavement glass or the idea of pavement glass, but I did bring it to the research community. Nobody had ever heard of that before I brought it. That's what I
Yes.
did. That's all I
And
did. You know,
it was awesome. It was mind blowing. The photos you were showing and how in depth you did great, man. You did really good.
I can definitely do better. My there's two problems back then when I did those things, when I did those videos in particular. I was going through I was in real bad health. I was very sick. I almost died, and
Sorry.
so I did the best I
You
could.
always look sick, but sorry that
I did the best I could with my condition back then. And now my problem is time. I have, like, every video I've made about this stuff, I've got way more information now than I did back then, but I don't have the time that it takes. I also am not, something I'm trying to learn is about making better documentary videos, and that's something I need to get away from the artsy fartsy crap that I've been doing and get more into better production. But that's something I'm working on. I'm
well,
taking some reading some books about it and things like this. But I know
well,
I know it's a weakness.
well, that's I didn't know about likes way back then when I first started following you. I didn't go in your chat. I always just loved what you were showing and how you presented it. And oh, I was just gonna say something like,
Thank you.
oh, I'm so happy you found Fafo Farms. How'd you find Fafo? How'd you get in touch with them?
How to find them?
Yeah, how'd you?
It just that's just what I call it.
I got you.
That's
I
just
got
what I
you.
call it.
Got
I work for a wealthy businessman that owns a major demolition company, and
huge heart to have a that, I get no words. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
Okay, he's a real good guy, and I take care of his personal property. That's what I do. I take care of. I make his dreams come true at home. That's what I do. Okay, and I enjoy doing it, and it allows me to do my YouTube and work, and it's a real good thing. He's a real good guy, and I'll give you an example of how good of a guy he is. We went to out to dinner last night, and we were going to we went by the grocery store on our way back, and I picked up a couple things, and he picked up a whole grocery cart full of stuff, and I'm sitting there waiting for him to check out. Or I got in line. There was a guy in front of me, but there was something wrong with his checkout. And he walked away, and he was standing off to the side, and he left all his groceries on the counter. And then the cashier said, "Come on." And I checked out my few items. And then my boss comes through behind me, and he didn't say anything, but then we walked out the car, and he had paid for that
I
guy's.
love your accent. Keep going. I'm sorry.
He paid for the guy's groceries because the guy's EBT card got cut off.
Oh,
he had a whole cart full of groceries, and he didn't tell the guy or anything. He just walked out and never said a word to the guy.
Wow.
I didn't even know by the time we walked out of the car. That's just the kind of guy he is, and I appreciate that. There's not too many people. A lot of people that have money, they're they're pretty jackassy.
Yeah. Well,
but some of them are really kind.
You stepped in zebra crap. Let's say just literally.
Well, yeah, we literally have two zebras.
And I can't believe you were mentioning on Sunday that Philip Druz, I can't say his name. I can't spell it.
Yeah, no, Drozdenen. Took me a while.
Awesome guy, man. I was following him. He was walking in a forest and just talking.
Yeah.
I
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was another Russian guy that he brought on.
Yes, I know you're talking about Russian. He's changed his name, Global Vision.
Yeah, yes. Everybody should see this video. This is what woke me up.
His videos are awesome.
I wanted to talk more before I came. Just got to this, but since we're here, they showed both him and Philip did an episode himself. The Russian subways, and it's incredible how it looks like you could flip a switch and the ether, the all the devices, everything is just going to flip on. Fountains, marble granite fountains in a subway station.
Yeah. That place is amazing.
Mic drop. Just that alone. Granite, marble, and then the light fixtures. You like lamps, you like lights when you're showing videos and everything. Dude, those subways. I grew up taking, when I was the FedEx, I went to pick up my truck. It took me an hour or so. People are texting me. It's just mind blowing. People all should watch. I'll drop it.
He has a new channel. It's on I believe it is on my YouTube. Hold on a second. Let me look. It's actually on my YouTube page. He changed his name for some reason. And it's a Russian name, I think. Let me see if I can find that.
While you're doing that, I want to say hi to Kathy, to Odin, to Teresa, to Hippie Shake. You are lovely. You're a God blessing Mustang. Steps, what's up, brother? You should be calling in right after me. Roni, oh my God. Orphan Annie, love you. Everybody, let's go. We won. I broke a cigarette. Damn it.
Okay, I found it, but it's in Russian. I can't read it to you. Let me put the link in chat. I cannot read that name.
Philip Druzham is a straightforward guy, almost like you. Straightforward.
It's right there.
Take it or leave it. It's Mudflood in your face, and stay above.
I just posted it right there. It says Real Cell Noser or something like that. That's his channel. I can't pronounce it. The name is actually in Russian. So I can't do it. Hey Kathy, I see you there. Just hold on, okay? Just chill out. We'll get to you. I'm just saying, Kathy's waiting. Stand by. You said you where did you work for FedEx? What city?
Manhattan, New York. South Street, Seaport. I delivered to Broad Street. I went over to Governor's Island. I took the truck on a ferry over to Governor's Island. It was a military base way back then. Now they turned it into a yuppie, fancy area. Then I went and I parked the truck. I took 3 workers. They went delivering. And I took another ferry to the Statue of Liberty to have a bookstore downstairs in the Statue of Liberty. I would deliver mail to books and stuff to the Statue of Liberty 2-3 times a week.
Wow. Did you know that my first video on Mudflood was about the Bronx?
Wow.
If you go back and search my video.
It's a rough area for me. You know, I wouldn't leave Brooklyn. It's like a territory. I was trying to explain this to somebody the other day, a nice Venezuelan guy. It's like, what do they call them in Brazil? They have those little like group areas. Like 2 blocks it'll be a Dominican area, 2 blocks it's going to be an Italian area, 2 blocks it's going to be Chinese. Bios, not bios. I'm lost the words. Kathy, I'm sorry. I don't want to make you wait. I like talking to Beags.
Boroughs? Is that what they call them? Boroughs?
Something like that. It's
maybe wrong.
It's like the Brazilian, like the Colombian, those little
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. We're both. It's both. And then you Martin Leka also woke me up a bit with one of his Celtic channel, his largest the explaining fasces, and
Fashion, yeah.
the thumbnail is a mirror, and I think he has his largest everybody should see that. Hi Teresa, you better be in here. This is for you, Cookie. I'm calling in. I'm doing this for you guys.
Hi,
I had a
Teresa
bad
Greger.
I was right before this interview and before you came on, I was in a mod group for another channel. The guy Mark Perez, a musical guy I've been following for years. I
Yeah.
sent you while I was drinking that I'd like you to come on his show and talk, like do somewhat of a collab. He's not
What does he do?
a
I don't.
just musical and laughter and improv. His biggest thing is improv and music, guitar music, looping. He made a really
Oh,
awesome
okay.
device. You'll check it out. We'll do this later, but I don't want to
Yeah,
keep Kathy
send me
too.
a link so I can look into him.
I had David Weiss. I had David Weiss on his show. I had Brian Stevely on his show. I had a couple of big truthers on his show. Pat, there's a couple of mods there, large mods, and I asked your last show. I didn't want to interrupt your show, but I was asking Hippie Shake and Kathy and everybody to stop in. He went in. He went live early as you were on,
I saw that. I didn't
and
know. You know, when you're doing a show, it's very difficult to pay attention to the chat and do a show. It's extremely
no, you
difficult.
do a great. You do
No, I don't.
you do
No,
you.
I don't. It
Yeah,
is
no,
hard.
you do you. And I
It is
love
hard.
how you should do once a month, like you did past Sunday, and just talk with us and take
I'm
questions.
doing that more and more because I do enjoy doing that. That I
Yeah,
enjoy that. I don't know if it's interesting, but I enjoy it.
yeah.
And if y'all like that, then we will do that more.
I've
I
been
don't have a
watching
problem
you.
with that.
I've been watching you so long that I know you, and I like it. I like your view. It's so cold out here tonight. I was looking for my other Brooklyn. Let me get a napkin, a tissue. My nose is running.
It's funny in Florida when the cold hits. It's like it feels like a way worse than it is.
Oy, with my screen name handle Sig Sauer, it's a gun. Everybody thinks I'm German, but no, I'm 85% Jewish.
85% Jewish.
Yeah.
And where were you born in Manhattan?
Brooklyn, Brookdale
In Brooklyn.
Hospital.
How about that? Wow, that just to be, I can't even imagine be able to walk around in that place now. That
Yeah,
would be so amazing.
it's electric. Oh, here I was telling this to somebody the other day. Like in Florida, they don't they hold the door. I hold the door open for people, and they don't say thank you, have a nice day. In New York, you hold the door open for somebody. They say thank you, have a nice day, but they look to rob your pocketbook or your wallet. And I know a whole bunch of different languages when I delivered mail, going up the elevators and stuff. I would hear people talking while they're talking their language, and I'd ask them what you say. I could hold my own in many languages,
Wow.
and everybody thinks I'm a little bit silly or whatever on chat. I'm happy I'm calling in tonight. I
Do
called
you
into
know
Old
the
World.
origin story of FedEx and how that kind of got started? Have you ever heard the Las Vegas origin story of FedEx,
Yes,
where he put
and
it all?
I'll even go one further than you. I'm positive you don't know this. RPS, Roadway Package Systems Services.
Yeah.
It was a route system like a Snapple route, a potato chip route. I bought RPS my truck, and I bought the area, South Street, Seaport, Broad Street. It's all envelopes. Back then, there was no computers, big boxes. People didn't have, oh, I'll make you laugh. didn't have fax machines, this and that. It was just envelopes. And I
Yeah.
got paid $1.20 per stop, and then 25 cents each package, each envelope. So when I went, I hired 3 workers that came with me, and I gave them scanners. They sat there on the side of the road by the Bull on Broad Street, and they would sign a million names like they're delivering it to them, but we would take them to the mail rooms, and the mail room, they delivered it to everybody else. I was making a fortune. I was making $3,000-$4,000 way back when. I also am the first photo bomber. I used to see Al Roker, all the news people outside. I'd stick my face in, and I go run up to the stockbroker's office. Can I use your phone? I call my parents. I'm going to be on news. Check it out. I'm hanging out with the Al Roker. I'm the original photo bomber right here.
That's cool.
Right here. You're looking at him. And then I said to the stockbroker, Stanley Morgan, this and that, can I use the phone? They said, David, you could have your own office. They needed stuff airmailed, sent out overnight, and brought back fast with air packages. They needed signatures. They didn't have fax machines and phones and all of this shit back then. So they treated me like gold. David, would you like some lunch? They ordered the best stuff: Peter Luger's, lobsters, clams, this, that. David, have what you want. I would take boxes. I would take the packages out, the boxes, open their boxes, take boxes full of food home to my family.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's how I rolls.
Man.
And then when back then they had party lines. You call up and you speak to 25 girls, this and that. I would sit in their office in a nasty FedEx uniform with my feet up on the chair and talk to girls all around the world on a party line. Oh, we got to talk Mudflood. Wait,
That's
I'm going
funny.
off. Yeah. Yeah, Statue of Liberty was a trip delivering there. It was, it touched my heart. I felt good. And I was there when the Twin Towers went down too. I lost a couple of buddies.
Where were you? Where exactly were you? Like
eight blocks away when it happened.
Did you visually see anything?
Yes.
Okay. Did you? Well, okay. Let me back up. Did you visually see any planes hit buildings? Visually,
it was like, how can I word this? A blur. It was a blur, an explosion.
Okay. 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 Let me get real specific. Did you see the first plane or the second plane?
I seen both. Everything.
Okay,
You heard it.
You heard it. Okay. Did you? What I'm saying? Did you see it? Physically see it?
Yes. And I'm telling you, it was planes, but they were blurred.
Okay. What I'm trying to get to. The first thing I like to find out when people say they saw it is, I want to know, did see, there goes my camera. I don't know why it does that. Every now and then it freaks out. Sorry, folks. A lot of people think they saw something they didn't see. Okay, because they saw it on TV. Okay, they might have seen the explosion, and then they would have seen the plane hit the building on the TV, and then they put it together and they say, yeah, that's what I saw.
You know how you have the green screen behind you and sometimes your ear goes away or something like that?
Right.
That's what I seen.
Okay, here's my thinking of what they did on 9/11. I don't know why my screen does this. It drives me nuts. Sorry. Okay, I think that they used either a hologram or some sort of like small plane, but I really starting to think they used a hologram to do the actual plane portion, and then the explosions were done in the building. But I'm really starting to think that they used a hologram that day, because people, you could, if you've been in New York City and you know, when you're looking up, if you're not in the right spot, you don't see shit. You don't see that building. You're not, you got to be in the right spot. You
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah.
close enough, or you're not actually gonna see that plane going in that building.
Same thing like
So,
Charlie Kirk.
exactly,
Same,
exactly,
same thing.
100%. If you're not in the exact right position, and you're not exactly looking at that spot at that exact second, you didn't see shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then they put it on the TV, and we watch it over and over and over again, and our
yeah,
mind
yeah,
fills it in.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what I think happened in both of these cases.
Television. Yeah, yeah.
Television.
Um, I wanted to talk a lot more about also. I forgot her name. I don't want to say anything ugly. Joe Cool's wife. I wanted to talk with you about. Joe Cool was nice. He brought something different to your chat. He brought laughter. He brought your chat was very not dry.
You don't ever go against the wife.
But yes, and I should have opened
A
my
smart
mouth.
man will not do
She
that.
she was a ball and chain, period. And I've been fired. Everybody here has been fired before. You know, you just leave. You just that's it. And you come friends later again if possible, this and that. I'm sure she brought you some what is it called? Not evidence. Some, Mudflood, something you like, but she didn't say nothing. She's sitting next to you, didn't say absolutely nothing. She had this face on. I'm not going to talk bad about her. She just did nothing. So you gave her walking papers. You did everything right, and then you stuck up for Paul Cook also. Hippie Shake did her own thing. She really didn't take sides, but she
Hey, hey,
I
ha ha.
think
I
highly of
tell
Hippie
you,
Shake.
yeah, it's it ain't easy doing this, and people feel that they can treat you very poorly when you do this, and
Mm.
I've learned my lessons from that. Um,
Good.
and
Yeah.
it was at the wrong time. The wrong shit happened at the wrong time, and it hit me real wrong. And
I'm
so,
I'm gonna let's go. Let's positive. I'm gonna be in New York in about 2-3 months. I'm gonna take pictures of the cobblestones in South Street Seaport and send them to you. And
yeah,
if possible, Mark Pires. We'll talk. I don't want Kathy to wait too long. If somebody else wants to come on, I'll come back. If nobody else, if you want to chit chat, I got a
yeah.
bunch.
Hey, Sig. I think Kathy's already dropped off for now. I'm sure she'll come back, but Haha is waiting. So I tell you what, let's let Haha have a chance. And
All right.
if we slow down, come on back,
You
and
got it.
we'll
And
do this
long time
again.
follower, love the
Okay.
chat. Long time follower. You'll never lose me. Even if you ban me, I'll find my way back. I love
Well,
you, Beags. Have a good night.
thank you for your time. I appreciate it
You got it,
very
brother.
much.
You got it.
Hello, Haha. How you doing?
Hey, Beaks. How's it going?
Welcome, welcome. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Feel like I've known you forever.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, since the beginning of your channel, pretty much. I don't know how long you were around before I found you.
You've been around quite a while. I couldn't tell you either. I've been doing this. I was looking at this the other day. Since 2019, I've been researching Mudflood since 2018, but I didn't get the balls to do anything until 2019. And shout out to Michelle Gibson. Michelle Gibson actually gave me the courage to do something. So she's the one that encouraged me to actually make my first video. So shout out to her.
Cool.
But
Yeah, I like her. I've been meaning to go back and watch. You did a video with her to start with, right?
yes, originally we did a collaboration. Well, she posted my video. We were talking behind the scenes just about Mudflood, and well, it started off talking about sacred geometry, and then we struck up conversations behind the scenes, and we were enjoying the conversation. And then she encouraged me to make a video, so I made a video, and she posted it on her channel. And then I made the Giants video, and she put that on her channel. And then I was discussing with her what I should do on my next video, and I went through a list of several things I want to make a video on. And one of those was pavement light. She goes, "Yes, you need to do that. And can I collaborate on it with you?" And that's how that happened. It was her idea to do a collaboration. So,
Oh,
but that was fun. It was pretty cool.
yeah. I don't think I've heard anybody else really talk about pavement lights either.
No, it's a shame because I thought that other people would pick it up and talk about it, and it would be a big topic, and it hasn't been. Same with viaducts. Excuse me. Same with viaducts, and same with a lot of things. And now the photo manipulation, I actually saw a guy on Instagram last night put out a video, and it was all about how they've been using AI a long time. And then he goes in this photo manipulation, and he's showing picture after picture of pictures that I'm the first one that brought to the table. And I'm like, damn, that's having an effect. And that was really cool. He didn't shout me out. I don't even know if he knew that I was the one that presented those pictures first, but I'm having an effect somehow, some way. And
Yeah.
that felt good. I was like, that's freaking cool. That's good.
Well, I'm sure there's some people that don't really, don't tell you who they are, but they're researching Mudflood and using you as a source.
I'm not interested. It's not that I need my, to be credited for things. I just want to make a difference in the world. I want to change the consciousness of people to understand what else is possible, what else could be out there that we don't understand. It's not, look, if I were to kill over today, the work still stands, and that's what matters. I don't care if there's a bronze statue to me or anything like that. That doesn't matter. That's why my name is Stuffed Beagle and BEAGS, because it means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. The work is important, the research, the ideas. That's what's important. And I want to share these things with you guys, and I want to teach you how to do what I've done, or look at it in ways that you can figure out what's going on, and you can stand on my shoulders. And that's what matters to me.
Yeah. I mean, I brought up many times the Victorians with you, but that's something I just see every day. So I can look in a building and see if it's old world. A grocery store that I go to all the time. I just realized today that it's a small blimp hanger because it's got the round roof.
Huh? Really?
Yeah. Well, there's also there's a place on the coast that has a lot of them, and there's a small airfield with an old world building on it, and then across the freeway from there, there's all these blimp hangers of assorted sizes. They've got
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
It's a quarter round roof, and they make them really big.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But I mean, so I grew up next to the really big ones in El Toro, or no, those are in Tustin. They called it the Tustin helicopter base, but it had these two giant blimp hangers. I think they tore one of them down, maybe both of them. I don't know.
What happened to the blimps, do you think? Do you think they just burned them up? Or
when I was a little kid, we were on the base, and I saw the inside of the blimp hanger, and there was like lightning going off on the roof.
Really?
But
like the Antiquitech was still working?
No, it's just so big they had their own weather system inside. That was the. Wow. I mean, of course, there would be some. There's always some Antiquitech in all the buildings. All the Victorians, like they're all set up for Antiquitech. We've got in a lot of the Victorians, they have these little square buildings next to them. They're like probably 10 by 10s, perfect square, and there'll be like 2 stories with the pyramid roof and a big mercury ball on top. And the story is that they were water towers, and I'm like, well, why do you got windows in a water tower? And then they're all,
Yeah, we've got one of those in Raleigh, North Carolina. They call it a water tower, and it's got windows all going all the way down the damn thing. And then the water tower portion is just the very top, and it's like if you were to take away the tower, it would look just like one of those tanks you see on the top of like roofs in New York, and that's all it is. But the whole thing is a stone tower with windows in it. That's not a water tower. They added that.
yeah. I mean, they're silly stories. An old world building in downtown just burned down here, and they surrounded the whole block burned, and they surrounded it with fire trucks, and they knocked the brick walls down. The wood burned, and then they knocked the brick walls down. They had a big old grabber thing, whatever they're called, excavator.
Yeah. I don't know what that one's called. My boss has those.
But anyways, they knocked every wall down, every single brick wall down. And then I asked them why they knocked the insurance people. I asked them why they knocked the walls down. They said, "Oh, because they didn't want them to fall on anybody."
Yeah.
What a bullshit reason.
And I bet they could repair that.
They could.
It's a way to get rid of them.
Anywhere. I mean, you can't say that to a normie. You can't say, "Hey, that's natural concrete. It's probably stronger after the fire." You can't say things like that because it won't make sense to them.
No, it won't make sense. That is a very good point. That natural concrete, the natural mortar. That's some interesting stuff. I've been looking into that. It is so fascinating to see how it's so much stronger and how it self repairs. Have you seen that? That the mortar self repairs itself?
No. You were talking about natural concrete a few weeks ago, and I was wondering where you got your information, because you were talking about how it got stronger with time and things like that.
It does. I don't even know how to describe it. What I'm trying to do is find videos and things that I can present to you guys in kind of a form that will be understandable. But it basically, over time, it takes like 1,000 years, no joke, for it to cure. And then over time, it gets stronger and stronger, whereas our mortar gets weaker and weaker. It then also, it repairs itself. So if there's a problem in the mortar, that when the water comes in and soaks in, it will actually expand this element out inside that mortar and self-repair itself. It's incredible. It's just mind-blowing, this stuff.
How did you find that out?
Who knows? It's in some of my research, man. I've got so many different avenues of research going on right now. I just dig. I dig and dig and dig and dig. I get these. It's like I get an idea of something. Okay, finding that. I've got it in folders somewhere. I started off going back to Conspiracy RS's video on the natural cement, and I wanted to regurgitate that and see, what I could find in that. And then, so I started reverse engineering what he looked up, and then I started finding more from that. It is very hard to find information on it because people don't know about this. This thing is like unknown. We built with this stuff and nobody really even knows it. The people that the stonemasons, they don't know that it's something that disappeared from the consciousness. And it's fascinating. And they did the same thing with the old castles. That's something I learned watching a video. There's I don't know if it's I think it's one of these like PBS kind of things, but I don't remember. It's on YouTube, but they do a television show, and they're building a castle from scratch the old ways. And they're talking about in there how that mortar takes 1,000 years to cure. That's the same stuff. It's the same freaking mortar. And our bricks, that, our bricks will disintegrate because they're not as strong, and their bricks are a lot stronger. See, it's a lot easier, from my understanding, to replace the mortar than it is to replace the brick. There's just I've been studying bricks a lot because I think ultimately a lot of our answer is going to lie in brick making, because I think there's a big cover up there, because they know that's where the answers lie. Because when you start doing the calculations about how many buildings there are, not how many officially there are, but how many we know there are, if you start adding that up, it does not even remotely cover the amount of brick making capabilities they say we had. I mean, there's so many bricks being made. It's astronomical. It is very complicated stuff. And each region has its own little mythology to it. So it's very complicated stuff. I love
It's
it.
so easy. It's so easy for us to debunk the mainstream narrative, but I don't know. I guess the people that believe in the mainstream narrative don't feel it needs defending.
Exactly.
No.
It's their Bible of sorts. We've got the upper ground because we've got the mainstream narrative. We know because we have the books that tell us. We have the history. We know. No, you don't. And let me give you an example. I learned this last night. Have you ever heard of the Kong Mountains in Africa?
No.
Neither did I. But I believe it was I'd have to go back and shit. I'm thinking the 1700s, 1600s, somewhere around there. There was a guy that was a map maker, and he went to Africa, and he started hearing these stories about these hills in Africa. Well, he made a map and put these mountains on his map going straight across the middle of Africa. And they called them the Kong Mountains. Okay. And for 200 years, people put this on maps. And then all of a sudden, one guy goes over there to do some, research, and he realizes there are no Kong Mountains. And come to find out, there are no Kong Mountains. There never were Kong Mountains, but they put it on maps for 200 years. And all of a sudden, they just started taking it off the maps. And it just disappeared. But for 200 years, people believed that there was this mountain range that never existed, that there's no evidence for, and it was on the maps. And it's like, we don't know. We think we know. We've been told it was in the books, it was in the maps, but how do we know? We don't know. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's true. And that's a true story. Go look it up. Kong Mountains.
But I mean, 200 years is a long time. Our entire fake narrative was created in 200 years. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we can trust these old maps, Supposedly, Northern Africa is full of cities. Siberia is
100% agree. I agree. But this is the mainstream. You see what I'm saying? This is the mainstream that's saying, yeah, we lied here, but then we took it off and we made it right. No, no, you lied. You did not tell the truth, and then you copied each other like cookie cutters, like parrots. And the truth that you say is the truth was a lie, and it just got repeated and repeated and repeated. And then people were taught that. People believed that. Yeah. But then you and I know that the history is a lie anyways, but we're coming from a different angle.
But I was interested in megaliths to start with before I knew about the Mudflood, and I kept hearing about the Mudflood, and then I investigated it. But one interest, you get these little nuggets of things that reveal so much, like the inside of the Egyptian pyramids. The inside of the pyramids has no hieroglyphs. That means that all the hieroglyphs on the outside of the buildings in Egypt is nothing but graffiti, historically speaking.
Exactly. What do you know what the largest stone in the pyramid is? The largest weight?
What isn't it the well, I don't know. I hear about the slabs around the the king's tomb or whatever, or the queen's. The queen's is
Okay.
the biggest one.
Okay. Do you know okay, you know that the blocks are 2.5 tons, right? That's pretty common knowledge. But
Yeah.
the largest stone, the largest one that's in the pyramid, and it's not on the bottom, it's in the middle, is 80 tons.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think we have any reason to believe that that was moved from somewhere else. I think they made it right there.
That's possible too. I was watching a documentary on Baalbek last night. Have you looked into Baalbek?
I don't know about looking into. I mean, Graham Hancock.
Really?
I used to be into Graham Hancock.
Oh yeah, Fingerprints of the Gods. I have his book on my shelf back here. The Baalbek is definitely something I've looked into. It is fascinating. They don't know how the hell they did Baalbek. They don't have any answers for that, because the weight of those blocks is phenomenal. And they not only quarried them, they moved them and then raised them into the air, and they have no idea how they did it. And
But how can you definitively say that it's not geopolymer?
You can't. But you going from the mainstream narrative, okay? You've got to defeat the mainstream before you can go into the alternative. You see what I'm saying? Because they have a mainstream narrative. The mainstream narrative is that the Romans did it. Okay, Romans didn't do it.
Oh yeah,
okay?
yeah.
How did the Romans do it? They don't know. It's like there's no crane on earth that can do what that did. Okay, so if we can't do it now, how? Okay, we could get a bunch of cranes together and lift it, but they'd have to lift in unison. You'd have to have modern day cranes with cables, and you'd have to be modern machinery. But back then, all they had was wood and rope, and stone. How did they do it? There is no explanation for it. Now, is it geopolymer? That's a different story. That's possible. That's absolutely. I mean, you've seen what Paul Cook has done, and absolutely, it's possible. It absolutely could be. But I like to defeat the mainstream. I like to look at it from a mainstream narrative. That look, we couldn't do it by the mainstream narrative. So if we understand that much, we have to be open to an alternative. There has to be a different answer, and we got to look at it from a different way. But Baalbek is right, and I've also found evidence that the same people that did Baalbek did the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, but that's another story. I actually did a little conversation behind the scenes with Paul Cook on that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. In my mind, it's all geopolymer. Because, well, obviously, if you have two stones that are up against each other and it's a perfect fit, you didn't do that with a chisel. You can't.
How did you move it and get it so precise too? Like, and how did you make it? I mean, the mathematics on those blocks are impossible. I think, like it is so precise. I mean, I don't know how you could do that with a hammer and chisel, as you say, but geopolymer, it's very possible. It's also very possible that they could have done the pyramids in Giza with geopolymer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if I shared this guy when I was in Megalith, Mario Build Reps. He has a way of because all the megaliths are aligned with north.
Right.
I don't know, magnetic north, I guess.
Right.
But magnetic north, the North Pole has moved through time, so he can he dates the megaliths by which North Pole they're pointed towards. So he has all the stats for every megalith on the entire planet that's been discovered, and
Wow.
he finds out what and there's all these synchronicities. There's like I forget. He's got like 5 or 6 North Pole centers.
Has he done Göbekli Tepe? I'm not pronouncing that right.
Oh, good question. Because I was following him before that became a big deal. So, yeah,
because that site's really.
I'm sure
really
he has. I'm sure he had. But then what's the thing about that is it's kind of I don't know. You'd have to understand the site to know how it's aligned.
I think I saw a figure that they've only excavated like 10 to 15% of that site. They've not done anything. It is so, and they're covering it back up. They're excavating it, documenting it, covering it back up.
But he definitely did Stonehenge, and like he, like
okay, but what about Stonehenge? We built Stonehenge.
Yeah,
modern times. So how does that?
It got moved around. They even took pictures when they moved it around. So we don't know. We don't know what we're getting there.
Is Stonehenge even? Did we even erect it like it looked? Or did we interpret what we thought, or was it a tourist trap? And they're like, let's do this. This looks cool. Or do we even know? I don't know if we even know.
I don't know.
Maybe they got it right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they were just trying to set it back up the way that it was, or if they were trying to send a new message. Like, who knows?
I don't know. Man, how did you get into Mudflood? What sparked your imagination? Do you remember?
I remember things that didn't sync with me, like when I was in art history and they told me, that they tore all the buildings down in the World's Fair. I was like, you got to be kidding. I didn't really believe it at the time. I knew something was wrong with that, but that was a long time before Mudflood. And then like not too long before I learned about the Mudflood, I was trying to get a book about Victorian woodworking, and I couldn't find. There wasn't one, and the best I could do was a book of drawings of Victorian buildings.
Like, how do they do it? Like that kind of thing. Like, how do they make? Yeah.
Huh. And
there's no book.
Because I'd taken a wall apart before, and I noticed the connectors, but you got your vertical boards in the wall, and then you got your boards that go between them, and it was like a fishbone. It was like this and that and that and that,
like a herringbone pattern.
Yeah, and no, I'm not aware of any carpenters that do that
in the wall.
Yeah,
you talking about the lathe pattern? I've seen that before. I never really thought about that.
It would just.
That makes sense. So that's really odd.
It would work. Of course, it would be easy to hammer because you're always just hitting it from the side. But at the same time, it would let the wall move. The wall could move and not break.
Man, those old structures are very technical that we don't understand. Have you ever seen an old an old door frame and the way they connected the 45s, the miter joints together? I don't know how to describe. I've got a video on it somewhere. But there's this way that they did it behind it that I saw a carpenter take one apart before, and he's like, I got to show you how this is done, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not know how this was made. Like, he had no idea, and he was a master carpenter. It was really cool because it was. The things they were doing, like the sashes in the walls, that brought up and down the windows, so it eased up and down. Just stuff like that. Like the technology they were using that we do not understand still. The wind catchers, I mean, I don't think people really understand the wind catchers. I don't know how to explain it very well, because you have to have a lot of knowledge of construction and buildings in order to understand how those worked. Because it's one thing to understand how the flow of air would work, but it's another thing to understand how they had channels in the walls that allowed that air to go in, and then they utilize those as the utility runs for the plumbing and the electric later, and now nobody knows about them. They covered them up. But explaining that to people just, they don't understand it, and I don't know how to explain it. I can't show it to them because they're gone. They've destroyed them.
Well, you're always battling this idea that they think that their civilization made all this stuff in 1900 or 1850 or whatever, and it's just not true. Is it 50 years older? Is it 200 years older? We have no idea. We just
and you're
know
always looking at their eyes, and they got this condescending look, like they know they're waiting for their turn to talk, and they're just going to badger you with the official narrative. They're like, okay, go ahead and get over with your conspiracy theory, so I can throw you, what you need to know. And it's like, it's like you know in your heart that they don't understand what you're saying, and it's like talking to a brick wall. It's very frustrating. See,
that video you just posted, that was good.
I've never talked to you, face to face before. We've chatted it, many times, but I can sit here and have a conversation with you because I know where you're coming from. I fucking get you.
I'm just as crazy as you.
And that's okay, because we understand. We get it. You have to be a little crazy in this world to be sane. That's the reality of it.
Yeah, because all the normal people that really have their shit together, they're believing a bunch of bullshit.
Oh yeah, my boss is a great example. He's so asleep, it's funny. And
I'm looking for my charger so my computer doesn't run out of power.
Okay. It's really difficult living in a world of people that are not awake, that are unconscious, and you try to have a conversation, and then they will, I love it when like something is said, and they look at you waiting for what you're going to say, because they know you're going to say something, and they know it's going to be crazy. And you need to say something, and it's your place to say something, but that they're not going to believe you, and they know they're going to laugh. They're going to laugh at you, but you know what? We stand strong, and we look them right in the face, and we tell them our truth, and then they just look at us with that deer in headlights look, and all you can do is hope that something sinks in about what you've said.
What did I say? Yesterday this woman had all these Templar books at the post office, and I asked her a question about the Templar books, and it turned into this horrible conversation. And by the end of it, I was like, she was going to ask some Native American person that she knew, like, what the history of something was, and I'm said, but that's fake history there.
Like, why does she have Templar books?
Oh God, dude.
What was her reasoning behind
it? Well, I mean, in my mind, because I'm not going to read those books, right? But when she described it, it sounded like there's some guy writing books, and he's like a really high-level Freemason, and now he considers himself a Templar or something, and he's writing a bunch of books. But it seems to be kind of like Graham Hancock, where it's a long story, a lot of fiction, and it just, and of course, they're buying into the Native American history and the Wild West and all these things that,
There's a psyop for you. I've done a lot of personal research on the Templars, is why I'm asking. I have.
From our perspective, I just want to fit this in. From our perspective, all that history has already been debunked. So, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
But see, I did this a long time ago. You see, I learned a lot of stuff before I got to Mudflood and all these other things. So I have a base of knowledge. Like I went all in on the Graham Hancock and the ancient aliens, and all the megalithic sites that I went. I've read 40 books on Mayan culture and history in 2012. That whole phenomenon. I have been down all those, but those helped me understand later what they did. And so I understand where you're coming from, but for me, it helped me. It also helps me. I've said it before. I'm a big fan of the Oak Island mystery, and there's a big Templar connection there. I don't know exactly. I don't know where the Templars actually fit into our story. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm kind of trying to reverse engineer what I know, my research of what I've known on the Templars to the research that I know now, and trying to figure, because there is a trace of evidence of the Templars that goes to Oak Island. There is actual evidence that traces the Templars from Europe over to Oak Island. There's an actual, chain of evidence. And so I'm trying to figure out how this old world fit in with that thing. Like, is it something that happened and then they wrote a story to cover for it, or what happened? I'm open to what is possible. Do I believe the Templars, the story existed, it happened the way it happened? No, but I know the story really well. I understand the Templars and what they did and why they're important. I know their history. Now, is it all true? I doubt it, but I know it. I can't help know it because I learned about it before I got to Mudflood. You follow what I'm saying? I can't help but know it. But I think it helps in what I'm doing, because now I have that mainstream knowledge as a base, and now I can look at it from an alternative perspective and hopefully kind of dissect what they did. But it's going to take time. It's very interesting. It's something I've been following. And Oak Island, I'm just, it's just something I've been following a long time. I was following Oak Island well before the TV show came out.
Well, I haven't followed it, but I watched like half an episode or something. But it reminds me of the stories that Old World Florida tells, about he's researching books and stuff, right? And it's really interesting because you got to piece together like what they made up. Is this something that they did to get ready for a World's Fair? Is this somebody that they actually drew a picture of? Like, what's going on here?
That's a good question. Oak Island is very, I don't know how much you know about it, but it is the evidence that is coming out of, and the artifacts that is coming out of Oak Island is incredible. And granted, and I know for anybody that's out there that's an Oak Island fan, I know about wood, okay? I know they find a lot of fucking wood. I got that. Okay, you're just going to have to understand, I do get that. But the thing is, you have to understand is they are really finding archaeological treasure there, and there is something going on. Is there a treasure on Oak Island? I don't think so personally. I think it's long gone. But was there something there? There was seriously something going. They are finding things there that are absolutely unexplainable. There was a major operation going on Oak Island, and I believe it will be proved. I believe they already have proved it. It's just a matter of proving what happened. It is fascinating to me, and I don't talk about it a lot because it's so complicated that without putting the evidences in front of people, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain that when they find hundreds of ox shoes underneath a stone road that is found under a swamp, why that's important. In the middle of Oak Island, in the middle of, off the coast of Nova Scotia, that there's no record of. Ox shoes. They found hundreds of ox shoes. That's just one thing they found. Hundreds.
What is an ox shoe? What does
Okay,
that
you know
mean?
what an ox is? Like imagine a big cow.
Yeah,
It's a beast of burden that they would use to pull heavy loads,
and they got a
heavy carts.
cloven hoof, so they have shoes.
They would put metal shoes on them, I believe cast iron
Oh,
shoes, and they would wear through because they were walking on this road, this stone road.
mm.
That they found evidences over in Europe of the same exact stone roads that were built by Templars. And so there's these stone roads, and they're finding ox shoes all over the place. Just recently, they found this. I'm not going to explain this very well, but imagine a stone that's as large as a car, okay, but round, kind of ovalish, and it's in a hole, and then it's being propped up around the edges every, say, 12 inches with a little stone underground. So when they dug, they see the stone, and the head archaeologist was like, guys, there's something strange about this area. I don't know what. Do you think we could do some excavating here? They started digging it out. Then they started finding these stones about 2 feet down that were a foot apart, around, all the way around that one large boulder, and then it's hollow underneath. And they're excavating this out, and they're getting ready to lift it up. But it's
Wait,
stuff like this, like, how did they do it? Why did they do it? What the hell did they do that for? It's
is
man-made.
you must know the Roman bathhouses, how they had the floor up with with
The
the blocks
heating.
everywhere. Is that what are you talking about something similar to that?
Um, Imagine a big boulder, and then let's say that this is ground level. Well, if you went down 2 feet in the ground, and then you put a stone, let's say a stone about a foot round, and then put a stone here, and then go another foot, put another stone, and you propped it up all the way around the boulder. Okay, so it stayed up in the air, but there's a hollow space underneath. They ran a camber under there, and it's hollow under there. I mean, we're talking back in the time. We're talking, this was done somewhere in the 1700s. They would have had to lift this boulder up. They would have had to dig it out. They would have had to put the boulder down and place these rocks around to get this boulder to stay. How in the world do you do that? This thing weighs, I mean, it's humongous. I mean, I don't know how many tons. They don't know yet, but it's to give you an idea, it could be somewhere between, I don't know, 6 to 10 tons or more.
Mm.
It's a big boulder, but it's like, why would you do something like? And there's stuff like this all over the island. They were digging in the swamp, okay, and about 4 or 5 feet down, they found a stone and brick square box underneath the swamp. And it's like, what the hell is that? Like, why is it in the middle of a swamp? It's just random ass shit like this. They they dug out what's called Smith's Cove, and they found these dammed up. I don't know how to describe them very well, but they're these dammed up features that are made with logs that have Roman numerals that are hatched. They've taken a hatchet and done Roman numerals into the logs to build these walls, and these structures are 100 feet out in the water, and they're underneath the ground. They're underneath the dirt, and they closed it off, built a dam to keep the water out, and they started digging and started finding these things. They were looking for the box strains, the famous box strains that supposedly keep the seawater coming into the money pit. It's incredible. It's mind-boggling, the stuff they find there.
Are you a fan of Conspiracies R Us?
Absolutely, 100. He's one of my top favorites. Yes.
Because like when he was doing the research on the the white clay pipes,
Yes, they find tons of white clay pipes.
those yeah, so that's, you reminded me of that. It seems like it's some kind of post but post reset before the Masons got there or something. Like, I don't know.
It's a good, and that's that I'm looking at it from the eyes of Mudflood. What happened on Oak Island, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, things are covered over. They found this they're excavating this feature now that had these round this round rock feature where somebody, like, they had placed these rocks in a circle, and it was about 15 feet around, but they later found out those rocks were done by somebody later. They documented it, but they were trying to mark this spot. And then they started excavating that. Now they're finding foundations that are, 2 and 3 feet down in the dirt that they didn't know were there. And it's just really incredible. And I'm just scratching the surface here, but it is really interesting stuff. It's slow. It is a slow show, but if you start at the beginning and know the history and you understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, and then you look at all the stuff, the evidences that they found, you really get hooked. Now, they do find a lot of wood, and the going joke is, oh my God, they found wood, because they find another thing they find a lot is these wooden spikes. They're survey markers, and they're about 4 inches round, and then they have their wooden their axe cut on the end, and they found hundreds of those in the swamp that were used to lay out the swamp and the road in the swamp. Just really interesting.
Do they think that the water level has changed? Like, it wasn't a swamp when they did this?
The theory is that it was 2 islands, and that they sank a ship in the center of the 2 islands. That they blocked it up on either end of the islands, and then sunk the ship, and then it became a swamp. And they think that there is a ship that they burned, and it is down in, and they have found evidence for ships. For a ship down there, they have found all kinds of things like that: planks from the ship, railings, parts, hooks, all kinds of stuff from ships in this area.
You keep bringing up like low technology artifacts that they're finding. So that's interesting, because from before the reset, I imagine some high technology, but I'm sure they were limited by their overlords too.
I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody, but I'll say it. I've probably said this before, and I'll say it again. If you look at our technology, let me give you an example. Okay, this is my cell phone. Okay, and I don't know if you can see that. Okay, this is my cell phone. Okay, this is made out of silica and plastics, leather case, but imagine a situation where inorganic materials like plastic disintegrated. Where would this phone be after a reset? If there was a situation where inorganic materials disintegrated, where would your TV be?
It wouldn't last very long. I think 20 or 30 years, you probably have a hard time recognizing it.
Exactly. So if we're sitting there saying, well, we don't find any of the technology from the old world. Well, what if it disintegrated? What if there was some way, some reason that the things that they had disintegrated? I don't know. It's an idea. I don't know.
Well, I think that they were for some reason, they didn't have barriers to technology. Like, I think what we call a mirror was really what they called like an iPad. Like, they could talk to each other through mirrors. Like,
their mirrors were really weird. Have you ever seen them make a mirror, an old mirror? Have you ever seen them do that?
No, but the mercury, like, there's mercury involved. Like, mercury is kind of a magic thing.
It's cool. I think there was something going on with mirrors. It's they talk about the scrying mirrors. It's very possible mirrors, and you got the mirror on the wall idea. That's an interesting concept. What did they do with mirrors? Mirrors were like the elite supposedly could only afford a mirror because they were so expensive.
Yeah, and actually, I think you may have opened the door to that for me because you were always talking about the cartouches and how some of the cartouches look like mirrors. And I think,
I don't have a way to prove that the cartouches were scrubbed. It just makes sense to me that that's what happened, because I see cartouches. I've shown it many times on the show where there's cartouches with stuff on the cartouche, and then if you use your imagination and just imagine somebody taking a chisel and just popping that logo or whatever off that cartouche and smoothing it out, how easy it would be to make that a scrubbed cartouche. What was there? Why would you have a cartouche with nothing on it? What is the point of that? It doesn't make sense to me.
yeah, or maybe it was that. Oh, so I don't think I fully answered you. You were asking me how I first got introduced to Mudflood. So it's like I was just seeing it in comment sections. People kept talking about the Mudflood, and I'm like, well, I'm exposing myself to every conspiracy theory out there. I want to know what they all are. So, but anyways, I think it was John Levi and Campbell when he was first starting out. Like I watched him the day he got in the car accident.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I was learning about. I imagine I was a little bit behind you.
You had to have been, because I consider myself second generation. Your first generation is your John Levy, your autodidactic, your Philip Dresden, your Martin Lika, your Michelle Gibson. I believe they are what I consider the OGs.
Yeah.
Philip Dresden is the OG, and then you have Jared Boosters and myself. Um, uh, there's more. Paul Cook. We were kind of the second generation. Then you have the third generation, which is your Old World Florida guy, and
Lunch break.
Lunch Break would be fourth generation. I think he was.
Yeah.
He was after that. Oh, also
he's pretty new, but he's fun. He's too
intense. And Mine Unveiled, I think, were first generation. Also,
yeah,
I think they were the original OGs too. I'm probably forgetting some, but I think that's a pretty good list of the OGs.
Yeah. So I don't know how to date it, but if I go back to like a few months before Campbell got in his car accident, that's probably when I started picking up on it.
I remember that, but I don't remember when the date was. I think he still has trouble with his arm.
Yeah.
From that accident. That was bad.
Yeah, I still watch him. He's great.
He's a good guy. He's on my good guy list.
Yeah.
He's a stand-up guy. I've always liked him.
He doesn't I don't think my sense of humor jives too well with him. But he doesn't really respond when I make a comment, even if I'm like the first one. Like he doesn't respond to me.
I think there's from different areas, I think people understand comedy differently. Like I was trying to tell a joke last night, and my boss I said, translate this to this person, because we were at a Mexican restaurant. He says, that won't translate. And I didn't understand. He goes, they don't understand our jokes. And I'm like, and I don't know. I guess it doesn't translate. I don't understand that. Like, I don't know how that works. I tell you what, I need to let the beagle out here real quick. If you want to hang out and take a break, but
sure. It looks like, is there nobody on the dock waiting?
No, Kathy dropped off. Kathy, if you want to come back, you're more than welcome. But I do need to let him out because he's going to tear the place down and piss his fur.
Yeah, no problem, Beags.
Okay, you want to just hang out?
Or John? You want me to call you John?
You can call me John or Beags, either one.
Okay.
Whatever
you call me Karsten. I used to use my name Karsten before. Haha. And it wasn't. I wasn't trying to hide my name, but I just.
I always called you Haha.
I found my pineal gland, and everything's just like, if I don't start laughing at everything, I'm gonna get really sad about this shit. So
Here you go. All right, give me a few minutes, and I'll let me get him out. I'll be right back. Okay.
right.
Alrighty, I am back. Okie dokie. Beagle's gone out for patrol. Call him a pit bull or two. Hey, how you doing, Frankie? Kathy Broughton. How you doing? Graffiti Tita Tattoo. I'm not pronouncing that right. Welcome. Hey, Sig. It was nice talking to you there. And Hippie's still hanging with us. Let me get. Oh, let's see. I'm down at the bottom here. Teresa Gregory's hanging over. Hey, Annie, how you doing?
Wait, where'd she go?
There we go. And Haha's back with us. I hope you like this format I'm trying here.
It's a good experience for me because I've never seen myself on video before like this. Well, yeah,
it's tricky the first time you do it, ain't it?
Zoom calls, but here we got 20 people looking at me.
I was terrified the first time I did it, but it took me a while to get through it. But I like the one-on-one format because I can give you my undivided attention. And on a lot of these channels, when they do something like this, they have 4, 5, 6 people on there, and it's so confusing. And
my God, Zertus, that guy drives me nuts, man.
Yeah, yeah, he's a really smart guy.
I believe you. I believe
he really
you.
Is. I got to know him a little bit behind the scenes.
But I think he used to smoke heavy when he was on air, and he was always interrupting everybody. And I think he changed his ways a little bit.
Really, he's before I met him, I would go in his live streams and I would ask him really, really deep, hard questions to trip him up to see how he would do. And he actually passed every test I threw at him, which was actually pretty incredible.
Some of those guys, is he a Florida guy? I mean, some of those guys are really smart, man.
No, I forget where he lives. I used to know this. He used to work for CNN, and I think he also worked for was it NASA? He was I think it was CNN. His job was to handle their social media. I believe that he taught him. He was controlling how they did their social media for a while. But he's just really, really. He's got a big brain. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
He's really, really. Now a lot of the stuff he talks about, I'm not that interested in. But I will tell you, he is a very smart cookie.
Well, I guess that's kind of. I don't know. I guess I was thinking Old World Florida was Freemason. I haven't really let go of that belief, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. My only experience with him was that before he blew up, I was watching his channel and I was liking the work he was doing, and I went behind the scenes and I offered him to come on the show, and he treated me kind of like, well, who are you? And
what was like, read? Okay, what if you read?
Okay, well, who are you? And I'm like, okay, never mind. But then a little bit later, he figured out who I was, and he tried to come back at me and say, "Hey, man, how you doing?" It's kind of like, let's do something. I'm like, no. It's just he rubbed me wrong the first time I tried to reach out to him, and it just, I don't know.
Last time it was probably a year ago. I was trying to figure out what's going on with him, and there was a lot of drama going on, just like you had a lot of drama.
He's a weird dude. I don't know. I just haven't really paid attention to him ever since that. So I quit watching his videos because of that. Once you turn me off, that's it. I'm turning. Yeah. I'm changing the channel.
I mean, I don't know how many Mudflood channels there are now.
Not many. No, there never has been. But well, I mean, you got the new channels that are coming out. The AI channels are. Whew, I don't know what we're going to do about that.
I was just watching one, and I left a few bombs in the comment section. Like,
My question is, who's on the other end of that? Is it a person that gives a damn, or is it just AI? Um, I kind of wonder if they've created some kind of system or way of creating channels and creating videos on its own. Why is that not possible? Why can the AI not be doing it? Like, say, hey AI, make a Mudflood channel, make or Old World channel, make videos about Tartaria, Mudflood, and Antiquitech, whatever, and give it the keywords, and then the AI just keeps pumping out the videos, and it's got its own channel. It's created its channel. You know, I don't know. Is it a real person behind that? I don't know.
yeah. Well, I mean, I only watched I think I watched 2 episodes of this female AI Mudflood channel, and it was just really frustrating to me because they want to give equal weight to the Meltology theories and Mudflood theories, and it's just one big thing that happened, and like no
Yeah.
concept that we have evidence of at least 2 resets.
Yeah.
And then,
Or
and then
more.
some people say there's, every 115 years or some shit. Like, I'm not a follower of that kind of belief system that there's one, because I think we should have just had one. And I don't think COVID qualifies. So,
No, I don't think that does. I think that my personal opinion is that Mudflood and Meltology are two different reset events. And the Meltology, I believe, was long ago. I do believe that happened. I believe that they did melt the shit out of some buildings. I'm not exactly sure how they did it, but I really think that's possible. And my problem is not that it didn't happen. My problem, and I've been very clear, is how they're saying that the bricks are turning into stones, and how all mountains are melted buildings, how icebergs are melted buildings, how pavement asphalt is melted building. It's like these ideas are completely insane.
I don't think we have any evidence that they used asphalt. That's
But
our thing.
but see, here's the thing. Like Gen Truth Seeker 69 is swearing that pavement asphalt is brick buildings. Now, it's not even the same material. It's not like you're not even comparing apples and apples. It's like
it's temporary. It's just like Portland cement is temporary. Asphalt streets are temporary. That in 100 years there'll just be a bunch of crumbs on the ground.
Yeah. So I think it's a theory that is going, and the problem is that it has infiltrated our community now. You got people like Lunchbox talking about it. You got the John Levy has fallen for it. And I don't just mean they're interested in it. I mean they're regurgitating the same old parroted crap that the Meltologists are putting out. Yeah. And that's my problem with it. And I don't know what to do about it because I've been screaming from the hilltops and nobody's listening. So I don't know what to do to make them understand.
I don't know. A few years ago, I made a comment. So, John Levi, he was talking about how they moved a building somewhere in, I don't know, Utah or whatever, in a small town, and they moved, and I said that's ridiculous. I can't move a building, and then he's like presented evidence that they literally did, but it was just like they moved
a lot of buildings.
Probably a 4-story brick building. They put it on some giant roller skates and they moved it like down the block. That's what they did. And they literally did it. But I bet that's happened less than 10 times in the whole world.
They did it in Chicago. They sometimes would put the buildings on barges and float them on the water to a new location. Big brick buildings. They did some moving that is astronomical. They moved
that, and that's a testament to the strength of the natural concrete that we couldn't compare.
Because I don't think you could do that today.
It's one solid unit that they moved. They picked that thing up and it didn't fall apart.
It's many courses thick. is it's built like a brick shit house.
I would say, I mean,
Incredible.
I don't know, but I'm assuming that the brick walls are literally pyramid like. They always start big, and like they must be for like the Empire State Building. Like it must.
When you go high, well, like an Empire State Building would be a steel frame with a facade of brick kind of thing. But when you build a brick building, my understanding, and I'm not the authority here, but my understanding is when you build a tall brick building, and I think you can only go so tall with a brick building before you can't go any taller, but you have to taper it smaller and smaller as you go. It
Yeah.
has to be larger at the base and taper up towards the top.
Yeah, that's a good research subject right there.
I've seen videos on that talking
But
about
most
that.
people,
Is an engineering thing.
do you think people in the Mudflood community would be interested in that, or is that like getting too much into the mechanics of it about why we couldn't build it today, because we don't even understand how they built a wall, like let alone what the Antiquitech was doing, what the symbology is like.
Well, that's why I look into bricks so much, because I don't think most people understand how hard a damn brick is to make. They think of it the way that they go down to the Lowe's or the Home Depot or whatever your local hardware store is, and they buy a brick, and they think of these brick ovens kilns that they use today. That's not how they did it back then. Back then they used what were called clamps, and what they would do is they would they would they would they would they would excavate the brick materials, okay, the different sources. They would mix them together in a pug build. Then they would put them into a mold. Then they would put them out in the sun to dry for several weeks. Once they were dry, then they would stack them. And then they would take bricks that were already fired, and they would put around them and build this like hut thing over it. They'd build walls on all sides of it, and they would build a roof of brick over it, and then they would build a fire going through the middle of it, and then they would light that on fire and close that up, and then open up every so often, and they would bake that for a long time. They would cook that for a long period of time, and it took massive amounts of wood to burn this. And they would have these things, baking 40,000, 50,000 bricks at a time or more, because they made some really big ones. Most of the time they were much smaller. And then once that was done, you lost 10 to 15% of the bricks, because the bricks that were closer to the fire would get too much heat and they would vitrify, which is where melted bricks are. Okay. And that would become the clinker bricks, which they would use as they were considered originally as lesser bricks, but they actually have a cool look to them. So they would use them as accent pieces, and they would put them inside walls and give it decoration. But these bricks, until you fire a brick, you don't have a brick. It is very, very difficult to fire a brick to get and then you've got all kinds of things going on depending on what kind of clay you use, depending on what kind of materials, how long it's fired. You got different kinds of brick. You got your regular brick that are like for the interior walls. You got your facade bricks, and then they have different colors. You've got different smoothnesses and textures. Sometimes they would add sand to it. There was different kinds of brick. You had fire bricks. You had to use the right kind of bricks. Then you had different colors. You had cream colored bricks. You had blue bricks. You had red bricks. You had brown bricks. You had all different kinds of bricks. There's so much going on with the bricks. And then you have to have the source of the clay, and you can't just get clay from anywhere. And then once you got all this made, you've got all these bricks made, okay, and you can only make them in certain areas, okay? You can't make bricks just everywhere. Then you've got to transport those bricks from point A to point B with horses and carts and barges and boats, okay? And then you got, Fort Bacon down in Key West? Is that what the name of it is? The big fort down there? And this thing has 16 million bricks out in the middle of the ocean.
Oh yeah.
And the idea of that's just ridiculous. And then, I made a video about this. Is um, they talk about how that's the most bricks in a brick building ever made. But then I run across a documentary talking about Penn Station and how they used, thinking in Fort Macon, I think it's, is it Fort Macon, the fort down at Key West, whatever that name is. That fort, they said, I think it was 1.6 million bricks, but in Penn Station they used 1.7 million bricks, I believe it was. And they don't even talk about that. It's like, yeah, it's at 1.7 million bricks.
That is a big building, that Penn Station. I can't even. I can't remember how big it was.
It was
I tried to tell somebody. He was talking about. He's an artist, and he was talking about Penn Station and how beautiful it was. And so, of course, I weighed in and said, "Yeah, well, that building was made by giants in previous civilization." And
Good night, Kathy Broughton.
yeah,
Good night.
his eyes glazed over. Is Kathy leaving?
Yeah.
She never got on the dock.
She can come back. We'll do this again, Kathy. Sorry you couldn't get on. He was I like to give people time to talk. I don't like if we're into something, let's keep going.
Well, I want to talk about petrified hearts now, Biggs. I want to bring out a petrified heart for you to look at.
All right. Do you are you into the mud fossils and the trees or anything like that?
I've seen these guys present their evidence, and I think that they are looking at ball tendons, and I think they are looking at trees, and I think I watched every episode of Unveiling of a Titan, and I've had anatomy physiology in my past, so
I think it's possible.
I think relate to him, but I mean, what he did is he broke down the inside of the eyeball and worked his way out from there, and he just found like real anatomy in this mountain.
Wow.
But
I don't think it's sometimes they'll say it's everything is a Titan, and I don't believe that. I think they're here and there. I think their trees are here and there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's everyone. It's like all mountains are melted bones. No, they're not. I think some of them are this, some are that. Some of them are just damn mountains.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a mountain that's a microchip somewhere, like giant microchip. Like, could be all kinds of things.
Could be.
I mean, we can only speculate, right? Like, all we're working on is what we've been lied to about, really.
I mean, I've been gem mining inside of a mountain before, deep inside of a mountain, and I didn't see a damn thing other than rocks. So, I just didn't get the right one, I guess. I went sapphire mining. I went to a little short story. I went to a gem mine in North Carolina mountains, and just a simple, touristy trap. And I was talking. The guy was a collector of gems, of gemstones, and the guy that owned the mountain and the gem mine. And I was talking to him about orgonite, and he had never heard of it. And I was explaining it to him, and he was really interested in it because a lot of the orgonite has gemstones in it. And I said, I tell you what, I'll bring you some. And so I made the guy some orgonite, and I took it to him, and he was so pleased with it that he said, would you like to go up to the mine and do a little mining? And I said, sure. And so I went up there, and I actually got to go into the gem mine and go sapphire mine. I came out with a sapphire that big.
Wow.
And, it was just really cool experience, but I didn't see any kind of building, or there was no bricks in there. There was nothing melted in there. It was just rock. And they were very hard.
Well, what is the sapphire a remnant of? That seems to be the thing. Like, we call it gold, silver, sapphires, but these are like remnants of other things. Like, they know, like the gold rush in California, they knew the gold was here. We don't know the history of how the gold got here, but they knew it was here, so they might know.
Yeah. I can agree with that. We're gold and silver and these precious metals, and were these things something else at one time? That's a possibility. My problem is I do not, when somebody tells me that a brick has turned into a granite stone or a quartz stone or a limestone, it's just, you're not comparing apples and apples. But when you're saying, gold was one, let's say you had a gold statue and then there was a melting event, right? And that gold melts down and it goes into, somehow mixes in with quartz, and it becomes a vein in the quartz. Okay, it was something, and then now it's something else, but it's still that element. It's still gold. It was gold, then it's gold. Now you're bringing it out and making a gold watch, but it's still gold. A brick, a stone, a brick is not going to turn into it. The thing about bricks are, all sand is bricks, brick ash. I mean, it's, what are you talking about? Like, that's, do you have any idea how many bricks it would take to make that much sand? Do you have any idea how much effort it would take to make that many bricks? Do you, like, these people do not think through what they're saying?
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. They say some wild shit. Like, and then they hold on to it after they say it, like they repeat it.
They won't let go of it. They're going to die on the hill. See, I don't care about them. I don't care to change their mind because I can't do that. What I'm trying to do is stop the new people that are coming in trying to understand Meltology and saying, hey, whoa, watch what you're listening to, because there's some bullshit over here that they're saying and you need to be aware of it. And I need them to think for themselves instead of just taking it in and then regurgitating it like, let's say, John Levy's doing. He's not critically thinking about what he's saying. Now, he's come back recently where he's come off the all mountains are melted buildings, and now he's saying, well, okay, maybe not all mountains are melted buildings. Okay, well, now we're getting somewhere, and that's helpful.
What did he actually say? All mountains are melted buildings?
Yeah, he was saying,
he said that.
Yeah, I've got him saying that. He was saying that, but you got to understand John Levy's tactics. He, like, where they say bricks will morph into stones, he'll say bricks fused into stones. He'll change the wording so it looks like he's not copying them, but he is. He'll, instead of saying all mountains are melted buildings, he'll say mountains are melted buildings. You see what I'm saying? He'll change it just enough to where he's saying the same thing, but it sounds like he's saying it. Like it's a different. He's not copying. He's copying.
He is an entrepreneur. I'll give him that. Like he ran his coffee shop. He won't even consider selling organic coffee. Like he's trying to make a buck, man. So maybe he's getting some of that good Meltology money. That would be my, but that's my conspiracy mind at work. Like why is he slipping and sliding this way?
You know what my theory is? When you've got these guys that come on here to YouTube and they start making these videos, and then they have some success, they get a following, and then they start getting these donations and the money starts rolling in, and all of a sudden, just like John, I'll tell you, this is straight up truth, he told me this, is that he realized he was making more on YouTube than he was in the coffee shop, and it was like a no-brainer. Well, why work all day selling coffee when I could just do YouTube? So he closed the coffee shop. Okay, fine, good for him, that's fine. But the problem with that is that then as you're spending more time doing your YouTube, right, and you're making these videos, at some point you run out of ideas. Okay. And then you have to start expanding and broadening your ideas and bringing in new things and speculating. And I mean, you can see it. I'm not going to point anybody out, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about, that they start making these videos that they're like fluffy. They're just fillers for what they used to. If you look at the old stuff and then you look at this current stuff, it's like, what are we doing there? I see they're just trying to fill up the time, and they're trying to put something on paper kind of thing. But then you got guys like Conspiracy or Us and Mind Unveiled, and every time they step up to the plate, they hit, they swing, and it's a home run.
Mhm.
And I respect that because that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, he's all on his. Conspiracies are us. I really don't see anybody influencing that guy too much.
Yeah, he's got a very close circle. He does not play with others. Um, Not in a mean way. I mean, he has shouted my work out before, but he does not collaborate. He does not communicate. He's not saying, these are where I'm getting my ideas from. He really kind of, cuts his own path. I get a lot of inspiration from Conspiracy RS because he really does have a great way of looking down the wrong end of the telescope.
Yeah.
I love it. I watch
Yeah.
everything he does.
So I don't know. My discoveries, like, I guess I'm the blimp hanger guy. I know where the blimp hangers are. But
That's cool.
there's all different sizes of them, right? Like I've seen the big ones, but then now I'm in a smaller town and I see little ones. This was a huge form of transportation for these people. That's how they got around. They had all different sizes of blimps. Like we see it in the sci-fi movies with everybody flying around in blimps, and
And they just got rid of them. All of a sudden,
like little blimps that people looks like people put together in their backyard and they're flying around town. There might be some truth to that.
they're really interesting. I've always had kind of a weird like pushback on when people talk about how the buildings were docking stations for the dirigibles and the airships. I I know that they did that because I've seen imagery of that. I've seen films of that, but I'm not sure how well that worked because when I'm thinking about it, and I'm not talking from experience. I'm just going out of what I'm thinking is that it seems very strange to me that if you docked a ship to the top of let's say the Empire State Building, and you're floating around up there and it's moving around, like the safety of that, I just don't know if that would work.
It
I don't
seems to
know
be.
enough about it.
I don't know. I mean, we could never know enough about it, but it seems like the tops of the buildings were created for that, and they're very strong buildings.
And it does. But well, I'm not talking about the strengths of the building. I'm talking about the if you've got a building, let's say it is strong enough, and you got a ship, and it's docked, it's connected to. They had this thing that would allow it to turn with the wind.
Yeah.
My thinking is like, how in the world, like, could the wind not just somehow flip it off, or it would be moving around too fast for people to get on and off? It just seems very complicated to me and unsafe. But maybe there's more to it that I don't understand.
Well, I mean, they probably didn't swing around the building too quickly. But they would have a staircase. Like when you get on an airplane these days, they can push the staircases all over the runway.
Yeah.
So they would, but I mean, I'm just saying they would maneuver it to wherever the staircase would have to be able to maneuver to wherever it needed to be.
Well, I don't see it as much of a staircase problem as I do. Let's imagine that there's a platform on the Zeppelin and there's a platform on the building, let's say a round platform, and this Zeppelin is moving around the platform. Okay, you've got to step from one platform to another. There has to be a gap. It can't be touching. Well, what if it somehow bangs into the building and your foot happens to slip, or how does it like stay level? And what if you're stepping off and the thing turns real fast? I don't know. What are the logistics, the safety logistics of that? I'm unsure of.
Well, last Sunday I put something in in your comment section, and I kind of, it's a good comment. because like we
haven't
tried.
gone through that show yet. I need to. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Or no, it was 2 weeks ago. But anyways,
I did get to that one.
I was back and forth with Kathy as usual, and then so I was saying, like we're trying to figure out, or they're just pushing buttons on a iPhone. The old world people, they're just pushing buttons on an iPhone, and we're trying to figure out how their iPhone works. We're trying to reinvent the wheel, and for them it was just the technology that they were given.
I don't think we understand what their technology was. I think that it's been,
but for them, they just had it. They just had it. They didn't have to invent anything. That's my point.
I think their technology was also more natural. I don't think it was as consumer as we are. Everything we built, everything has obsolescence built into it. It's all designed to fail. It's all,
Yes.
How many times have you broken your phone? I know I've broken mine.
I mean, our entire civilization is planned obsolescence. That's how I see it. I mean, it's a negative way to look at things, but I think it's pretty obvious.
It is.
Because like if everything just started working perfect in our civilization from today onward, we'd still be screwed because we use toilets and sewers. So we're going to lose all our nutrients and be malnourished and die off at some point.
The light bulb, if you look in the history of the light bulb, they created light bulbs that lasted a long time. And then the first thing they did was say, no,
yes,
this ain't going to work. We can't make any money on this. The reason it took him so many tries to make a light bulb is because he's trying to make a light bulb that would work and then fail. That was the problem. They were trying to figure out how to make it fail.
Or somebody was just telling me about Tesla. They weren't talking about Tesla. They were saying some town in the Midwest or something was using the old world grid, kind of like a Tesla tower, and they were spreading the energy out to the houses, and they had to shut that system down. And this is something that never made the headlines. And this is just, an American guy telling me a story that he knows. And I was talking, and then we started talking about Tesla and how Tesla, and I started going on about how Tesla reverse engineered a hotel building. That's why he lived in a hotel, so he could reverse engineer it.
I love the story about Tesla when he created the earthquake machine and about knocked the building down in the hotel he was living in. Have you heard about that? He made a machine that it was like an earthquake machine, like a directed energy weapon, and he turned it on and he had some sort of problem and he couldn't get it to turn off, and he about knocked the building down. He finally got it turned off, but he almost took a skyscraper down. I've read several books on Tesla, and he really was interesting. Now there's a lot of people that believe that he didn't exist, and that's also possible.
Wait a minute, I have one question. Did he really cut his balls off?
I've never heard that one. I don't know. Never heard that
one. I guess I don't really want to know.
I've never heard that one. He did talk to pigeons from the stories, but and he talked about Pleiadians, and I love the story about how he created the he did the first he lit up the World's Fair, that story. But did you know that he created the remote control, and that he created a remote control for that World's Fair also, and he was controlling little motor boats, like RC boats, with a remote control. So he invented the remote control. He invented the was the radio. Was it? Yeah, Marconi took the credit for that. I think that was it.
Yeah, I remember something about that. Somebody was talking about the remote controls we have for our TVs, and they were saying that Tesla had one 100 years earlier or something.
He was amazing, and he did the work with the the free energy and the Wycliffe Tower, and they didn't like that. Westinghouse couldn't make any money on that, so he shut it down. He funded it and then realized what he was doing with it, and once he realized there was no money to be, he's like, how am I going to make money on this? And so he tore it down. But that would have been really cool. But I think just my theory is I think that they've been collecting free energy and selling it to us this whole time. I just have a feeling. I can't prove it, but
well, there's too many people because they could never keep the secret.
Well,
they did 9/11. That didn't prove it.
I will assure you they can keep secret. I know things. I can't say much, but I know about an event that took place within the last couple years that was a major event that took place in a small town in the Midwest that was blamed on an earthquake. And I know for a fact it wasn't an earthquake. And I will assure you they can keep things secret. They can keep an entire town and an entire world from knowing some of the things that happen around us. The idea that we can't keep a secret or they can't do things in secret is just not correct. I mean, during World War II, where they had an entire town that was dedicated to creating the plutonium, and nobody knew about it. Entire town, just a complete community of people working on this, and nobody knew. Yeah. Look, it's real easy because they threaten these people with, imprisonment and fines, heavy fines, heavy imprisonment, and, you're going to keep your mouth shut. And it's very rare that you have like a Julian Assange or what's the other guy's name? The guy that the guy that's working for the NSA, and he they made a great movie about it, where he got out the NSA secrets on the thumb drive. But it's very rare you have a whistleblower like that actually has the balls to do something like that, because if they get caught, you see what happens to these guys. It's not good.
Yeah. When are they going to come after Mudflooders? Like we know way too much. When are they coming after us?
Well, we're not. Our voice isn't large enough yet, and people aren't listening. There's not enough population listening to us that they're worried about us. Now, if we were hitting the mainstream news, it'd be different. I met a guy in 2009. He was a trucker, and he showed me his identification. He was one of these truckers that actually ran the trucks in the secret underground tunnels through America. That was his job. And he had a special identification, and he showed me video of him running his truck through those tunnels. So I assure you those tunnels are real. And
yeah, I think all the old fancy brick tunnels that we use for sewers, they're either for clean water or for trains. They're not for sewers.
They could have been for the mini trains that you see.
Yeah. Well, I think there's all sizes, right? You got the big subways, and then you got what seem to be
light rail, mini rail. They had a light rail as a thin gauge track, and they had the mini trains. And do you know the stories about Harriet Tubman, the slave that ran the Underground Railroad? Have you heard about her?
Well, yeah, just vaguely. Like, no, I didn't. I never researched Harriet Tubman.
In her writings, she talks about how she ran an underground train, and she's not talking about an underground railroad where we're told it's an underground railroad. Like the idea of the American Underground Railroad is where you would have houses, sometimes underground tunnels, where they would transfer slaves to get them out of the state, the states that had the slavery. But what Harriet Tubman said was that she ran a underground train and she never lost a customer. She never had anybody fall off her train because she drove it so well. She was talking about she drove a train in an underground railroad. That's what she was talking about. And matter of fact, I believe it was Netflix
Well,
or
there's got to be some of those
did
that
a
are.
video about a series about this. They did a whole series about. It's called the Underground Railroad or something. But I knew this before that show.
There must be some of these that are still usable.
Probably. I think they took the trains out. I think those trains are the ones you see in like at the trolley parks, the mini
Yes.
trains. I
Yeah.
think that's what they are. Because those are real trains.
Yeah. And they're awfully fancy. They look awfully like, a cowboy and Indian movie.
They're perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how they were used, but I do know that they were. We know that there were trains. We know that there were underground tunnels. We know that there was a thinner a thinner. I don't know what you call it, but a narrow gauge track. I think that's what they call it. And we know that these things existed. Now they took them out early. Matter of fact, just a side note, went on the Siberian train that goes into China. It's when they cross into China, they actually have to change from one size track to the Chinese size track. So they have to get out and change the wheel base on the train because the tracks change size.
Well, that's why they built that wall. They don't like each other. I don't know. They've done. I mean, I can't. That was years ago that I learned about that, but it seems the wall was to keep the Chinese out, not the other way around.
That's what it looks like
because of the way they built it.
I have tried to find video evidence of that, but it is very difficult because it is very difficult to access the wall outside of the tourist areas. Because I don't know if you know this, but the tourist areas were actually rebuilt in order to show it to tourists. So you don't want to look at anything, pictures or videos for research for in the tourist areas. You got to go off the beaten path. You got to find people that are going and looking at the Great Wall outside the parts that aren't fixed. And they get video here and there. But the problem is that they don't know about the wall facing the wrong way. And so they don't, it's very difficult to understand as they're walking the wall which side is which unless they point it out. And then a lot of times when they point it out, the wall is destroyed. You know, the embank the I forget what the pieces that are built up on the sides that had the ridges where they could look over. The protections on the sides have fallen off, so you don't know what side's what. So it's very rare that you find this. I think they went in and knocked them down is what probably happened. But I think it's very possible that wall was that there's some serious stuff going on with that wall.
Well, they teach the Chinese people that they made it with sticky rice. Is that stupid? Like,
and they buried people in the wall. I mean,
oh yeah, Golden Gate Bridge, man. I'm not so sure about the Golden Gate Bridge. It seems to be old world.
It could be. I mean, you got the Star Fort sitting there. There's a piece of film I've been trying to find for years. I know exactly what it is. It's an old. Do you remember the show Emergency that was on in the 70s? It was about the California Rescue Squad.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got a nickname from that show.
Really? Oh, I grew up on that show. That was my favorite show when I was a little boy. And they did a special episode where they went to California. And they went to the Star Fort. They went to the fort that was below the Golden Gate Bridge. And they took some just beautiful video film because it was filmed. They took some beautiful film of the inside of that fort that I would love to get. I've just not been able to find it because it's a special episode. And I just haven't been able to find it.
Yeah, there's a surf spot right next to it.
I've never been to San Francisco. I always wanted to go, but I never got there. I imagine it's wonderful.
Well, I just drive through. I'm not a big fan of big cities. It's a very big city.
I'm not anymore. I've been to a lot of the America in my travels, but I'm definitely not a fan of crowd. Since I woke up and discovered I'm empathic, I've realized what energy does to me, and I don't like being in crowds anymore. Um, and so I definitely try to stay away from stuff like that. Um, I remember about 10 years ago, I was doing some work at Holden Beach, North Carolina, on a lady's beach house. And I got done one day. She's like, do you want to go to the concert? They're having a festival beach concert out there. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go. And I knew I wouldn't like it because of the energy. And man, she talked me into it. And I'm in the middle of this crowd, and I felt like the entire crowd was pressurizing in on me. It was horrible. And I used to work at a concert venue, and so I didn't used to have that problem. But as I got older, and especially once I woke up, my whole everything changed when I woke up. It just I don't know. I don't know exactly how it all works, but I know I used to be very different before I woke up. I was a regular fella, I like beer, you know, like chasing girls. I like driving fast cars, I like movies. I liked, going out and partying, going out to eat. And I liked concerts. I loved loud music, and I loved craziness and chaos. And, I was a regular guy. I never liked sports. I've never been a sports person, but I was regular. You know what I mean? I was normal. I was a normie. But when I woke up, it just changed everything in me. Everything I wanted to be different than I was. I wanted to get rid of, and I'm not perfect at all. I'm still fucked up worse than I don't know what. But I'm still much better today than I was 18 years ago when I woke up. And I won't never be perfect. I don't think that's even possible or achievable. But I know I'm a better person today. It may not look like that, but you didn't know me then, I mean, I had my hair done back then, you know, and I dressed to impress back then, and I don't do any of that anymore. I don't care what I look like anymore. This is perfect for me. I feel more comfortable than I ever have with my hair, no hair, like just shaved off. I feel more
Oh,
comfortable.
yeah. My head was shaved for several years. This is just brand new.
And I looked good with hair, but I feel more comfortable with no hair. One of the first things, one of the first comments I ever got on my videos, I used to wear a hat for every show, and I had some guy saying that people with no hair didn't have any intelligence, and that's when I took my hat off.
Yeah, I can't really say when I woke up. It's, because I think I always thought that I was awake, but I just had to expose myself to more things. Like, I was anti vax, you know, pretty soon after my son was born because I didn't want to give him that first vaccine and they gave me shit. And I was like, well, what's your problem with me not wanting to inject my newborn son with garbage? It's like, wait,
I don't like that.
and, so, and so I thought I really learned something then. And it's just been so I can't really say when it was, I gave up fluoride in the 90s.
Oh wow!
So,
so you, and I know everybody's experience is different. Mine was very dramatic and quick. Other people, like I've heard, Campbell has told me that he'll tell you, well, I've always been awake, and I've had other people tell me that, like so you're saying you think it was more gradual, but you weren't really aware that you were awakening. It was just kind of like it was happening, and all of a sudden you're like, well, man, I'm awake and I've been awake. Wow, that's really cool.
Well,
Is that kind of
I think I'm really good if I see alternative ways of thinking. I think I'm pretty good at discerning. You know, I gave up Christianity when I was 9. I was arguing, you know, Christianity with adults when I was 9 years old.
nice.
So I've always just questioned things. So as long as I could be exposed to the true information, I feel like I could discern that that was true. But I'd have to be exposed to it somehow.
So I didn't have the balls to question like publicly Christianity until I was, over 18. I was every week going to church, sometimes multiple times a week, and that was just how I was raised. But I had questions, but I didn't have the balls to say anything. But then as I got older, I started like voicing those concerns and questions, and people didn't like that. But did like I want people to look at that, but it's hard. I don't talk about Christianity a lot because so many people are still Christian, and it's like it's kind of funny to me. How can you like be interested in alternative research and know that they changed our history and then not question Christianity, which is like the basis for so much of our history?
I mean, I'm not really going to argue Christianity, the validity of it, unless somebody's confronting me about it. Like, because I can kind of destroy people pretty quick. But I mean, they're not going to listen anyways, right? Like, I'm gonna bring up something that's really confrontational, and they're gonna brush it off because they don't like it, and
they shut their ears off. People, as soon as they take it offensive, they take it personal. They don't want to listen once they realize you don't agree with what they believe. They don't want to hear it. It's over. That's when the conversation ends, and that sucks because you're giving them it's like you're giving them gold, and they're it's like you're handing them a big pile of poo.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
But I mean, I've learned over time. It's just Christians can be really nice people, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's it's not their fault. It's not my fault that their Bible was created by a bunch of devil worshippers that left us the message by choosing 66 books. It's like that's a message. Like they tell us that if 33 or 6 is in the headline, you're being lied to. But I mean, they're telling you, they're lying to you. Like that's what they're telling you. So I don't know, but I mean, that's really clear to me. All these things are, I watch the news every day and I pick apart what's true and what's bullshit. Like every day, like I look at the shootings in Minneapolis. I'm like,
I don't even know if my TV worked. I haven't watched the news in so long. I could not even tell you if my antenna for my TV would even work. I haven't used it in many, many years. I don't watch TV. It's just something I shut up. I don't watch the news. Yeah. I just don't keep up like current events. If it doesn't come up on like a feed of some sort, it kind of catches my eye. I don't know about it.
Well, anything that's big in the news these days is just total bullshit. Like the shooting of Charlie Kirk or what's going on in Minnesota. Like, it's not hard to figure out that they're just fucking with us. It's like ICE is just there to fuck with us. That's what they're for. If you don't understand that, then you need to like go back to 9/11, and that's when they created ICE, and they it's literally just there to fuck with us. That's it.
I don't understand how they can put ICE on the streets without any real intense training. I don't understand how
less than the cops that are doing a shitty job already. Less.
Yeah. How is that? How is that even happening? That doesn't make sense. You're putting them out there with guns and handcuffs in jackboot thug uniforms, and people, they do not have the training that you think they have.
No, I don't know if you're a fan of First Amendment auditors. Do you care about First Amendment auditing?
I do. I understand what they're doing. My only problem is that it worries me that somebody's going to get hurt doing that, because if you
Oh, they
ain't
do.
on your A game,
They do.
they will tear you up.
Well,
And
that's the thing, though. Like they're putting themselves on the front line, and the cops say, get a life and shit like that. These people are living dangerously, much more so than the cops themselves.
yeah, I get what they're doing, and I appreciate it because they are doing us a service, but it's still they're really, if they don't know what they're doing and they make a mistake, they could really get in a lot of hot water or worse.
But all they're doing is standing on their rights, it's strange that it has to be a confrontational situation all the time. But what they're really good at is teaching people what your rights are. It's like if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have any idea that I don't need to provide my ID unless they suspect me of a crime. Like that's huge. I
That
would
is
I would never have known that.
that is huge.
I mean, I
Um,
don't know I don't know how many times I've given up my ID to cops just because they asked me for it. You're like, people don't think that people don't know what their rights are in that situation, so they just bend to their will. But yeah, I don't know. That's where when this woman was shot in the head 3 times or whatever, it's like they didn't suspect her of a crime. She wasn't threatening anybody, so it's really clear that's like second-degree murder, if not first.
yeah, I will agree that the officer overstepped his, what he should have done, but also I want to say that y'all got to realize that these people ain't cooking with gas. You got to stay away from them. It's okay to protest, but don't go up and don't go poke the bear and then
Yeah.
not understand why the bear just ate you. I mean,
It's a strange situation with the feds because they think they can't be sued. If they're federal, they think they can't be sued. They can literally commit murder and they're good. That's what they think.
the law is we need to just redo everything. Like just wipe the board, get rid of the medical systems, and get rid of the police, and get rid of everything, but not get rid of them permanently. We need to wipe the slate and start again, but do it quickly. Like we need to. We Our systems are so screwed up. Our legal systems, our medical systems, our law systems, our school systems, our it's across the board are in such bad shape. All our politics. I mean, just wipe Congress out. Just take
Yeah.
them out, go in there, arrest everybody, separate the wheat from the chaff once they're in handcuffs. Like
Well,
they're all crooked, or there's maybe a few that aren't, but go arrest everybody. You know, all of them. I don't care if there's one or two that are in there good, arrest them, and if they're good, let them out. But get them all out of there. We need to start over. It's all corrupt, every bit of it.
that's what Campbell's saying. We got to start over. So, you were saying earlier we're not coming from the same place. How do you see? Because we've talked enough over the years. So, like, how do you see I'm coming from a different place than you
In what context?
in the research field, or like, because I'm branching off into like mountains or elephants and petrified hearts everywhere, but I'm still with you on the mud flood.
No, I think that there is some of that. I think that is a possibility. As I'll say with Meltology, I believe there are melted buildings. I believe there are petrified giants. I believe that stuff is possible. Now, I haven't done much research into that stuff, but I do believe that stuff is possible. I really believe that the petrified trees, the giant trees, I believe those were real. I believe in those.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, he'll show a giant rock and then he'll hold a piece of wood in his hand, right?
yeah.
And it's like, well, they look the same. It's
I
ridiculous.
think there's something to it. And I don't think that petrification happens the way we think it does either. I think that it happens a lot quicker than we realize.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
especially if you're talking about these hearts that I find all the time. But I have a few of them that have their even Mike the Stellium 7.
Yeah.
I have examples of petrified hearts with their valves still intact. He doesn't have that.
Wow.
So, but I shared it on his Telegram page.
I, I'm definitely thinking that there's a lot going on here. It's not just Mudflood. It's not just one thing. There's multiple things. This place has been around for a lot longer. Humanity has been here a lot longer than we understand. Um,
I think
many hundreds of thousands of years longer.
I mean I think one of the most interesting things is that apparently plate tectonics is bullshit. This is just human beings making shit happen. That's what I see. It's like I don't think plate tectonics is a thing. I think the human like for example, I don't
We have the ability to make
earthquake.
earthquakes, so
Yeah, so you were talking earlier, and I was this is just like a year ago. We had an earthquake off the coast here in Humboldt County, and they said it was a 6.6 on the Richter scale. Oh, what a coincidence! That's like your favorite number. And then and then like a week later, they corrected themselves and made it a 7. They're so full of shit, these guys.
yeah. They can create anything: tornadoes, hurricanes, snowstorms, earthquakes,
Like
tsunamis.
I think they put the 6.6 in the papers, or for the news report to notify all the Freemasons, throughout the world that hey, this is what we're doing now. That's why it's 6.6, right?
Could be. It. That Freemasons. I don't think that my kind of view on the Freemasons is that these days they're really not important. I don't put much weight into them now. I think in the beginning that their whole job was to cover up the mud flood.
But on
I
some
think
level, like the fire in Lahaina, the conspiracies involved, I think on a higher level, it's still happening.
well, that's a different thing though. That's when you're getting into the Illuminati's, stuff. I think that the basic Freemasons up to the 33rd degree are just it's a good old boys club. I think that they might be picking people from those clubs once they get past the 33rd degree, but I don't think they're actually doing anything interesting other than a good old boys club. They're in there slapping each other's butt and making deals behind the scenes.
So when you try to break down what happened in 9/11 with a task force of hundreds of security guards that put all the devices all over those buildings to get it ready for what was going to happen, you don't think that that's a Freemason conspiracy? To me, that's what it looks like. I mean,
I don't think it's a Freemason thing. I think it's a Illuminati thing. I'm a firm believer that the Illuminati is still the driving force behind the goings on of the world. Now the Illuminati's controlled from another level.
yeah.
But the
What do you mean?
Freemasons,
Are you talking about evil spirits, like ghosts of
no,
angry fuckers that died a long time ago?
you're talking about the level above the Illuminati.
Well, I mean, I have a suspicion that the eye at the top of the pyramid is evil ghosts, evil spirits.
Okay. Um, my understanding is that they are being controlled from a fifth dimensional reality, and they cannot physically create things. They can only manipulate. They can't. They can cause things to happen. Okay, they can maneuver They're pieces of the Illuminati to make things happen around the world, but they can't do it themselves. They can create the reaction. They can set us up to react to what they have pushed their puppets to do, but they can't physically do it. They can't physically touch us. There's a separation between us and them, dimensionally. And they've been doing this for many thousands of years, and it's been a plan that they've been working on for a long time.
Are we talking about the same thing? Because you're saying it's a fifth dimension, I'm saying it's a ghost. What's the difference there?
Well, I don't know. When you say ghost, I think more, I've actually seen a full body apparition. So when you say ghost, that's what I think of is a spirit that is has passed on, but has a energetic connection still to Earth for some reason. I think of it in a different way. I believe they are a dark energy, that they have thrived on the darkness of the world, because the creation is both light and dark. It's both positive and negative. And the idea is to bring things into balance, but the controllers of the world, of our world, have taken this out of balance because they want to create a negative charged universe. They can't do it. The creator's not going to allow that, but they think they could do it, but they also know they're not going to get away with it. But they're so crazy, they're so wrapped up in their own thing, and they wanted it to work, but it's not going to work. But they
work so hard.
They've been working on it for thousands of years. I mean,
in the present day, you can see like Benjamin Netanyahu, how hard he works to make the whole world a big pile of shit. Like, he really works hard. Like, he's trying to bring on Armageddon. Day and night, the guy doesn't sleep. He can't stop trying to bring it on. And he's got so much power. He is the most powerful person in the world, Benjamin Netanyahu. He's numero uno.
And don't go against him. Oh no, then you're anti-Semitic. No, can't be that. And they just put you down when
I don't think he qualifies as Jewish. I don't think any of the Russian Jews qualify as Jewish, to be honest with you. But
I love, this is kind of one of my favorite pieces of that puzzle, is that when I was studying, I've done a lot of study on the Temple Mount, and the true location of the Temple Mount. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this before, but
Temple Mount, is this the same thing as the Wailing Wall or whatever?
Well, yes, the Wailing Wall is the west wall of what we call the Temple Mount today. And it's also on top of the Temple Mount, you have the Dome of the Rock, which is the Islamic center, the Islamic mosque where supposedly Muhammad, jumped off of. That's neither here nor there. But from my research is showing that the actual location of the temple was just south, about 1,000 feet below the bottom wall of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, in what is now known as where the city of David is. They didn't know where the city of David was for a long time. They now know that. And it also has the Gihon Spring coming up underneath that. That's a very important element to it. The Western Wall, what is the Wailing Wall, the Jews believe that is the Western Wall of the temple. But the problem is, if you read the scriptures, that the scriptures clearly say that the Romans tore down the foundations of the Temple Mount all the way down to the foundations. They tore them completely down, dug them up. There was nothing left. So how can you have a Wailing Wall if they tore down the foundations? That's just one of the pieces of evidence. But here's the thing. The Jews were kicked out in 70 AD out of Jerusalem, okay? and they were gone for a long time, 1,000 years. Okay, they weren't allowed back, and then the Christians came in, okay, under Constantine, and it's like they're looking around. Where's the Temple Mount? Looking for the temple. Oh, well, they claim, well, there it is. That they see this big structure, which is Fort Antonia, the old Roman fort that was above the Temple Mount. Okay. They claimed that that was the Temple Mount and claimed it for Christianity. And the Jews came back, yeah, that's the Temple Mount. They didn't know. They hadn't been there in 1,000 years. If you've got a bit, imagine this. You got to put yourself in their shoes. You've been kicked out of your home. Okay. Let me back up. You got a temple, okay, and the Romans tear down your temple. They kick you out for 1,000 years, okay. Then you come back. Nobody in 1,000 years has put their eyes on this temple because it's gone, okay. There's no foundation, okay. There's no building. There's no structure, okay. And they come back to Jerusalem, and there's this big structure, and somebody says that has to be it. Well, it makes sense, but is it true? I think the evidence shows that it's not.
Well, I mean, I don't know where to start with my questions about whether or not the history of Jews in that part of the world is true. It's like these people, I mean, in the present day, these people can't stop lying. Are we supposed to trust what they say about what happened 5,000 years ago or whatever?
No, no, we're not. No, absolutely not. I believe Hitler was a Rothschild who's a Jew.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that. Yeah, he's an illegitimate Rothschild, correct?
Yes, Rothschild had an affair with one of his servants, and that was Hitler's mom.
And this was his gift from the family. This is how you can bless our family or whatever.
There was a lot more going on with Hitler. I think they needed to get rid of a lot of buildings, and they needed a war, and because war you can destroy a lot of stuff.
They do. They seem to target the old world architecture when they go on these bombing raids. They're not as random as they seem.
No. And the bombs. We have the bombs, the big craters all over North Carolina. Conspiracy RS, I believe.
Yeah,
him that did a really cool video on that.
Are you talking about the ancient ones? Like all the lakes and stuff?
Yeah, you see them in Tartaria.
Actually, I don't know how ancient.
Well, I don't either, but you see evidence. If you look at from Google Earth, and there's two areas. There's Tartaria. If you look up in the let's say the eastern side of northeastern side of Tartaria, you see what looks like bombing craters, and then in North Carolina, South Carolina, I believe Georgia, you can see these same craters.
But they're all oval, right? They're all oval in the same direction.
Yeah, and they look like that they were hit from the same direction, like a bombing run. They're round, but they've got a look like it. They all like imagine a meteor came in and hit from one direction.
Yeah.
And could it have been meteors? Yes, but then again, I don't believe that because I'm a flat earther, and I believe there's a firmament. So I don't believe in meteors. I don't believe in asteroids and meteors and anything like that. So I've ruled that out.
Technology. I mean, some technology that we don't know about. I mean, or even things that we supposedly know about, like, if nuclear bombs are real, but, coming in from like, I guess
they are.
That they would have been coming in from Alberta or something, right? Like it's coming from that direction when it hit North Carolina, right?
I believe it was Conspiracy RS. I could be wrong about that. That did an excellent video showing how he did research on it, and he was showing how it looks like you can see that it came from Canada. That they flew in from Canada and did the bombing runs. It's an old video, but that was really interesting. Um,
Frankie's grandfather did that.
yeah. It's like, how do we know our history? Like when our grandpappy told our uncle's sister, we don't get these stories. Like I don't have any stories that tell of building these grand buildings or anything like that. I got stories about how hard it was to churn butter. That's the stories I got. I got how clothing was difficult to wash.
Well, I think that tells you how, like, the people of 100 years ago and 200 years ago were so busy, washing clothes and going to work. They couldn't question any of this shit they were handed. No way.
Why would you? I mean, if it's already there, okay. Imagine you're an immigrant coming from Europe, and you're on the boat, and you come off at Ellis Island, and you get off the boat, and there's this big city there, okay. And why are you going to question who built that city? It's there. You why would you question who built it? You don't care. You want to know where your dinner is. You want to know where your housing is. You want to know where the bar is. You want to know where a job is. You don't give a damn who built these hundreds of thousands of buildings that you're seeing. You don't care. It's there. It's there. Obviously, it was the people that came before you. You don't care. You don't even, at that time, they don't have school. You don't know the history of how this happened. They don't even tell you that at this time. You don't question it.
So when you saw the Leo DiCaprio movie with the gangs of New York,
oh, that was good.
What did your mind run wild when you saw the like 5 floors underground? Like, what did you think when you saw that? My mind ran wild. Like, what the hell is this?
I didn't understand what exactly they were trying to portray there. Although it reminded me of a documentary I saw in the 90s, and I never saw it again. I saw a lot of those in the 90s, where they were talking about the underground of New York, and they were showing in like almost like cities underneath New York. And it was like this, like, urbex kind of styled video. And I never saw that video again. I've never heard anything about it. And I don't know what the hell I saw. I saw some weird stuff back in the 90s, like on PBS and stuff that they would show late at night that I never saw again. I don't know why. I don't know where these where they go. They just get rabbit holed somehow, or memory hold. It's weird.
Yeah. So I don't know. I definitely questioned things. I didn't have any context for it, but like, why is there floors underground in New York? Why are they putting this in a movie? The people that make these movies, they know about the reset, right? Like somehow they know about the reset, and that's why they put it in a movie. That's what I see.
It's very possible. I've never thought about that movie. I saw that in the theater. I remember when I went to, I have a distinct memory of going to see that movie in the theater, and we were late. And when we walked in, they were in the middle of the first outdoor knife battle scene. And I remember like stopping at you walk in the theater in the bottom on the side, and you come in the bottom, then you walk up. I remember just standing there looking up that big screen at this huge street fight of these guys, and just in awe, like, what in the hell is this movie about?
Yeah, you're reminding me. Yeah, it was a pretty brutal movie, right?
It was brutal.
But I mean, that's what I remember about it is the floors underground, like outside of the context of all the violence. It's like what is going on with that? Like when I was introduced to the World's Fairs, I'm like, wait a minute, they built the most amazing architecture in the history of mankind and just tore it down because they were done.
I didn't learn about it. I knew they were lying until later when I started doing Mudflood research. That I'd never really heard about. I'd heard about I think the Chicago World's Fair, but I'd only heard about it. It was like not a real thing. I didn't know that there was amazing architecture. I just heard it was a World's Fair, and I had seen like modern World's Fairs, so I wasn't impressed. I was like, well, that's not impressive. Who cares about that? And then when I saw it for the first time, I'm like, wait, something ain't right about that. That's not, that dog ain't hunting. Something ain't jiving with that, because it's this is this is a city that they build. It's more incredible than the real city almost, and you tear it down. That's retarded. That don't even make any sense.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, and then if you once you wrap your head around it, what actually happened, you're like, that is so sad what they did.
It's a shame. I mean, imagine what we could, like, as a community, could have done with those sites. Later, I mean, you could have had continual World's Fairs. My theory on the World's Fairs is that they were either planning or had World's Fairs that were worldwide, and they were holding them at one time. It was an actual World's Fair where they were having many locations all at one time, and they were doing this somewhere around when the Mudflood happened, and these sites were still there or were in the preparation for opening. But that's just a theory of mine. It's just I don't know. My mind goes in weird places sometimes on these things, but that's just where I'm at on it.
Well, I really think that the World's Fairs were where they introduced all these native histories, and these
Yeah.
and somehow they got, they must have killed the right people, and they got all these native communities to believe the history that they fed them.
Have you seen the entire battle scenes that they would reenact of the Cowboys and Indian themes that they did at the World's Fairs? Like complete reenactments of battles that
between the natives and the
between the natives and the American armies, the cavalry, they how we do the Civil War enactments today.
Yeah, well, I've seen people debunk the when like the old videos where they had like actual Civil War veterans in the videos, and people kind of debunked it as like, this guy doesn't know what a war is. This is some kind of actor.
Yeah, I've seen those videos, those old reunion videos, I think is what you're talking about. Yeah. Where they got the guys together for a Civil War reunion between the North and the South guys.
Yeah, and the guy's like, we used to say this, whoop 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 whoop, and like no man, no man in his right mind would be making the noises that this guy's making. He's saying he fought in the Civil War. It's just a bunch of bullshit.
I think I'm firmly on board with Civil War. I think was just a cover up. I think they had to have an excuse to blow stuff up. I think that's exactly what they did. I think they went and burned a bunch of stuff down, blew a bunch of stuff up.
It's the same time period, the Wild West was happening, and they feed us like thousands of movies about the Wild West and hundreds of movies about the Civil War.
Yep.
And that's what we're supposed to believe. And and then you see pictures of what they did, and
the idea of standing there and letting people shoot musket balls at you is just that. I just can't get on board with that.
Oh. Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. Yeah, like the English standing in lines just waiting to get shot. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's the same thing with going back to medieval times, supposedly, where they would charge at each other with, swords and spears and stuff, and horses charge. The idea of those armies colliding together. I mean, come on, that's crazy. That's just insanity. I mean, and they act like men. That's what men do. Men fight. Men. No, that's not men. Men do not want to kill men. That's not true. We don't want to do that. That's not something that we're programmed to do. It's not in our nature to kill each other. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I think. I mean, yeah. Well, definitely one place, because not being a Christian myself, but I do believe in the 1,000 year reign, and I do believe that we're in the little season. But I also believe that they wrote Revelation, so they named it the little season, and they're trying to make the little season occur the way they said it was going to occur.
Oh
You
yeah. Oh, definitely. The whole millennial reign and the all that. I'm not like the little season of Satan.
Well,
I
it's
just
not
don't have
precise,
any.
right?
You know, I don't put any faith in that. I just don't. First off, I don't believe Satan is real. Um, Lucifer's a different story, but that's not what we've been told. It's a whole different monkey.
Well, I'm
Um,
not saying that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying that the little season is real or the millennial reign is real. I'm just saying that those are good descriptions, because obviously a lot of people believe in this kind of thing, and maybe the
a
people
lot of
that
people
wrote
are
the
on board
story.
with that, though. It's a very common thing. The millennial reign and the little season of Satan thing. Um, it's a lot of people have that belief. Um, it.
But it makes sense though. Like it looks like it took 1,000 years to figure out how to make the building behind you. It looks like it does. And
That's a
if you
cast
think
iron facade.
that's a what, cast iron, all,
Facade. Yep,
all of it, or just the tops of the pillars?
the whole thing.
Oh wow,
They would cast iron entire faces of buildings all the way up.
wow.
They're incredible, and it's not today's cast iron either. This stuff didn't rust.
Well, that was the critical thing for me about the 1,000 year reign. Like it must have taken them about 1,000 years to build up that kind of technology, because they really had it going on.
I think that I think the castles that we see are part of another civilization. I don't think that it was medieval times and
It
all that.
doesn't match.
Uh-uh. I think back to those old medieval paintings where you've got it's almost like a third grader drew them, and it's like it's supposed to be the art of the Middle Ages and the knights and all this stuff, and they look so crudely drawn. I just don't. Those pictures strike me as something that was drawn really quickly for a narrative. That
Yeah.
they weren't actual artists that did those, and it wasn't depicting real events. They were just trying to create a narrative.
Hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Should we continue this, or
I
what
tell
do you
you
think?
what, how about we shut off for the night? And because I've got to get some things done and I've got to go to work tomorrow, but we'll do this real soon. Um, and continue the conversation. How's that sound?
That'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm not.
Um,
I'm not always real flexible as far as getting online though. But my daughter
oh,
left. My daughter
I
left me
understand.
alone. So
I understand. I'll put up. I don't have. I kind of have to do things when I have a chance to do them. This was a good time for me to do it. I'm not setting in stone when I do this.
okay.
And so if I maybe I'll do something like try to give a heads up when I think I might do it, and you can say, yeah, I might be available this day or something.
Yeah.
Um, and this is I hope that this has actually been really wonderful. I wish Kathy could have come on. I'm sorry, Kathy. I think she had to leave earlier, but um, I think this could be a really good opportunity because I believe that everybody has a voice and everybody has something to say. And I think a lot of you guys, you don't want to make a YouTube channel, you don't want to make videos, but you have ideas, you have thoughts that matter. And I'm trying to give you a voice to express yourself because I don't want to be the one that talking all the time. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to be able to say something. I've learned a
Yeah.
lot from you tonight, and I want you to continue to bring that back and continue. Go out and write down some ideas that you want to talk about. Let's continue the conversation in the future, and I think we can build off of this. And I like this format. I like one-on-one. I know that a lot of people like more people in a conversation, but I don't like that. I like more one-on-one because I can concentrate on you. I can focus on what you're saying, and I can think about you, and that works for me. I hope it works for you.
Yeah, it was great to talk to you. Yeah, definitely do it again.
Wonderful meeting you. I really appreciate your time. All righty. Well, we'll see you soon, and I'll probably do the show on Sunday. Okay.
Cool.
And I'll have to do some things here, but we will see you very, very shortly. Huh? Okay.
All right. Take care, Beaks.
All right. Adios. All right, everybody. We're gonna shut off for the night, and we will be back shortly, and hopefully doing a show on Sunday. And I think this was a good first try on this stream. See 6 hours hanging out with us still. Thank you for joining, Sig. And Kathy, I'm sorry I didn't get you on there, sweetie. I'm new to this, and I want to give everybody a chance to speak. Please come back and next time, and hopefully we'll be able to have you on. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks, Teresa, for hanging out with us. And I believe Hippie is probably still here. Yeah, hey, Hippie. And I see Owen's Ravens hanging out with us. And I see Steps is hanging out with us. Thank you all for joining this Mudflood flash mob. This is, a new thing. And I hope that you enjoyed it. And I hope that you guys will step up to the plate and come have a conversation sometime the next time we can do this. And everybody's got a voice, every single one of us. We're all in on this together. Okay, it's a group effort. We're a community. Let's start acting like it. I'll see you soon. Love, Biggs.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma. Don't you get it?
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.